was like midnight, I think. I'm just not paying attention. I'm listening to my music. We were picked up in this van. Don't know what city I'm in. My parents get out, and all of a sudden these like two huge guys get in. Remember, I'm like 14. And I'm like, what's going on? They're like, hey, you need to come with us. You're not going home. Like, you're going to be here till you're 18. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. You're stuck here now, but you're coming with us. I'm like, fuck you, it's going to be the hard way. They were dragging me out of this van, punching and biting and screaming, and I just remember looking over and seeing my parents, like, screaming at them.
Wait, so they set this all up?
Mm-hmm.
Jacine,
Yes.
we have a lot to unpack.
Yes.
You came, honestly, highly recommended by a lot of people.
I did.
Yes.
Okay.
I've had people for the last 6-7 months drop your name.
That's
buddies of mine,
surprising.
people I've been in, they're like, you have to get, I'm like, I want to, but you're a Canadian woman, so, and
Yeah,
and not even just that, you're on the road. So
Yes.
you live a very fascinating life.
Yeah.
You travel the world. You've been to about 50 different countries.
49. Yeah.
49 countries. You've hunted in 15 different countries. You had a pretty crazy childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You got child trafficked between the ages of 14 and 17.
Yeah.
You've had some pretty rough relationships. You've had some pretty crazy run-ins overseas.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me some videos of you eating monkeys in the jungle of the Amazon, which
Caught with a blow dart.
which I respect because I've eaten baboons. So I think that's how that conversation started. We have a lot to unpack because you, at the same time, reading your bio, you've gone through a lot of traumatic, really horrible things in your life, but you're not letting that define who you are, and you are just thriving. You have a very successful business. You're all over the world doing some of the most incredible things that I watch, and I'm just like, well, and you do it on your own.
Yeah, I do. I go alone everywhere.
That's my biggest, as a girl dad, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like,
I
why?
just have no fear. I don't know.
It's crazy to me. And so I watch this and I'm like, God, this woman is just, one day you're on the top of a mountain climbing something, and the next day you're in a wooden canoe.
Yeah, literally.
In the fort.
Stop. Yeah.
That's your life. And you're hunting stuff all over the place. You just did a family moose trip. All three of you, your brother and dad killed a moose.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a lot to unpack.
I flew directly from Benin, Africa to Fort McMurray, Alberta. Like directly from living with tribes in Africa to hunting, like no break in between. Straight from the tribe to the bush. Like there's no chill, no breaks.
This is why we're I feel if
And I was
there's
home
any
for 3 days
woman.
and flew down here.
Yeah, home 3 days. You shot a moose and then flew straight here. If there's anybody, a woman that I've ever met that just from the social media, and I think we've met like 10 years ago was the first time we had our interaction, you are 100% wild chaos. At least your social media looks like it.
I'll take it.
There's nothing wrong with it. So, Jacine,
Yes.
where are you? I don't even know where to start with this. Who are you? Where are you from?
Yeah, so I mean, technically, home base is Victoria, BC, Canada, born and raised. But even pretty young, I started with the travel. So when I was 20 years old, I had my son. He's born on my 20th birthday.
Okay.
And when he was 8 months old, I was just like, I want to go somewhere. I want to do something. So I packed up one suitcase and moved with him at 20 to Croatia, where I didn't know anyone. I didn't speak the language. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew my family's Croatian, so I should go there.
I was just going to ask, because I've been trying to figure it out. Okay, so you're Croatian.
Croatian, yeah.
Okay, so you just up and packed. And
20 years old, 8-month-old baby, one-way ticket. I'll figure it out when I get there.
How?
I don't know. You're 20 and fearless, I guess. Like, when you're 20, you don't think about things. Like, you're just...
For
you just
sure.
do stuff,
For
right?
sure. Yeah, 100%. So let's back up to childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Because you put in your bio, and if you're cool with this stuff, I want to touch on childhood because there's a lot of women. We actually have a huge woman following, which crazy to me.
Yeah.
But I love it.
I listen to every podcast.
You do. I mean, you're constantly tagging us from all over the world. Some of the craziest backdrops with the podcast going on, which I love, and I really appreciate it. So, childhood? Where did you grow up at?
So I grew up in Victoria.
Okay.
Victoria, BC. Really a tight-knit family. Like my grandma daycared me, my brother, my sister, and all my cousins. So we were all, with the family. My parents ended up my grandparents had a big acreage. My parents bought part of that and built our family home on it. So it was like me, my parents, my grandparents all on one property.
How was that growing up? I mean, that's like more of a cult. Is that a Croatian culture?
Very Croatian.
Okay, so
yeah,
you guys
my brother was married and still living at home with mom and dad before he moved out. It's very Croatian families all stick together. I moved out when I was 14.
Why?
Home wasn't that great. Dad was tough. He was really rough. It's hard for me to navigate because I don't want anyone to think bad about my family, right? Sure. So I don't want to talk bad about my family, but it was just really tough there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people obviously change too. I mean, I'm not speaking for anybody, but there's a lot of people, and especially our parents' generation, didn't have the best generation ahead of them. So they have I feel you. Exactly. I'm going through it with my parents. There's a lot of generational trauma from the original grandparents.
Oh, yeah, especially my grandparents being these Croatian immigrants. They were tough, whipping with sticks and beating and just brutal. So, but just one example, I don't remember how old I was. I actually don't have really any memory before the age of 12.
Really?
Been unpacking that lately.
Yeah.
But around that age, probably 12-ish, 11, 12, I can remember, I had my hat on backwards. I was always a tomboy, right? Mm-hmm. And my dad was always really mad about that. He wanted me to be girly, and it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
Anyways, he blew his lid, freaked out, grabbed me, dragged me up the stairs, went into my bedroom, kicked out the screens, took everything that I owned in my bedroom, the sheets, blankets, clothes, pictures, CDs, everything, threw it all out, dragged me back down the stairs, grabbed a gas can, poured gas over everything, made me light it on fire, shoving my face in the fire, burned my eyelashes and eyebrows off, watch your shit burn, because I had a backwards hat on. It was
okay.
Yeah.
All right, that paints the picture.
Yeah.
So at 14...
Well, we're close now, so...
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to state that, there's... I think a lot of our parents, and I want to speak for a lot of our generation with boomer parents, there's a lot to unpack because it was way different times. We are now, obviously, you being a mom, and you were a young mom at 20. And even at 20 years old and a mom, you're so immature at things because the wife and I talk about
I grew up with my son. I was a baby. I was 20, but I was a baby raising a baby.
100%. And you have no, I don't want to say life experience at this point, but we're young. And so then as we mature and we grow, and our parents are doing a lot of the same thing, I think a lot of our parents' generation are realizing they did their best, but it was a lot of that reflection from our grandparents.
Exactly.
And so
I don't see each generation gets softer.
100%. And I feel that's where we're at now as our generation. We're finding that happy medium of, like us, we run our house with not when I say an iron fist, not I'm beating my kids and yelling at them, but rules are rules, but there's there's structure. And then, but there's a lot of lenience, and I'm, cool. I want them to have the freedom. I want them to be able to discover and figure things out before they're out of the house. So, but with us, it was everything was I grew up in a very Christian home. So everything was demonic. Everything's from a sin. And so I was immediately the black sheep, and I was I'm out of here, I got to go. And that was what I had to unpack with the rest of that shit.
Yeah.
Throughout my lifetime is okay, cool, this isn't for me. And then now as a father, I look and I'm okay, my father was a great dad growing up, but then there's a lot of times he was absent, for my later teens when the rut started to kick in and hormones and all that stuff, I changed. There was this huge divide. And so as soon as I can get out of there, I signed the military and was gone. So then I look back at everything, how was going on, young adult, discovering self in the absence of that. And I'm okay, now I know how to fix this and how to be there for my kids now. So
yeah, I think for me too, my dad was gone a lot growing up because he was working, and he was always working out of town and, building the business and supporting the family. But then he'd pop in here and there and try and be dad and be tough and whatever. And it just created a big pull between us. And then on top of that too, so I was like, I hate saying like I'm super smart, but I was ridiculously smart growing up. Like I was speaking in full sentences at 12 months. I had the whole multiplication table memorized at 2 years old, skipped grades in school, tested at Genius IQ at all these things in school. And they're putting me in extra programs and all this stuff. And somewhere along the line, I don't know at what age, maybe like 11, 12, something, school was boring, right? Because it wasn't challenging me. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to skip me grades again, but I was already so much younger than everybody from skipping grades previously. It's like you can't be at that age. A 2-3 year difference is a big difference.
For sure.
So I started skipping school and like finding trouble because it was exciting because school was so boring for me. Mm-hmm. So I kind of started to get into a bit of trouble around that age too, which added to the push-pull with the family for sure.
Especially with a strict dad.
Big time, yeah.
So exactly. 14 comes and it's time for you to get the hell out of the house. Yeah. That is a huge step for I could not imagine my 14-year-old daughter leaving the home. So unpack this for me as a girl dad.
Yeah. Well, it started with another big fight at home and my dad just being like, get the fuck out. Like, I'm done, get out. And I'm like, perfect, great. I've been waiting for this. Like, I can leave. So I left. And then later on, that turned into like, she's a runaway. And I'm like, dude, you kicked me out. Like, I'm not a runaway, Mm-hmm. But yeah, I moved in. So a lot of my friends were always older than me. I was always the youngest one, both because peers at school were older and then maturity wise, right? Because I was always just so much more advanced than everyone my age. So yeah, I had this like group of friends that were renting this like attic in the most like ghetto area of town. It was literally just like an attic. There was no bedroom, no nothing. There was like a half kitchen and a bathroom and a room. Okay. And there was just a bunch of mattresses on the floor that we'd put down at night and sleep on and then push back up against the walls in the day and like hang out. I was selling ecstasy to pay rent. Like,
really? Yeah. At 14 or how long were you there? Really?
Yeah.
So 14 years old, you're selling ecstasy. Mm-hmm. How did you get exposed to ecstasy at 14?
Oh, I was already by 14, I was doing ecstasy, mushrooms, acid, and first tried cocaine at 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the friends I was with, or
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't have parental figures in your life, so you're just going with the flow.
Yeah.
So, how long did you live in this attic slinging ecstasy for?
It's hard to remember. I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 months, and then something happened there that broke down. Then I went and stayed with another friend for a while, and then that was when I ended up down in Mexico. So my mom told me that she needed this like surgery. I don't remember what she said it was for. She's like, oh, I've got something wrong with me. I have to go for surgery. There's a chance I might not make it out of surgery. And I had a friend back in school who had lost her mom under anesthesia in surgery. And I was like, oh, well, like, sucks to be you. Hope you make it out. Whatever, bye. And she's like, no, like, I really want to spend time with you just in case I don't make it out. And I was just, there was no love there for my parents. Sure. I couldn't have cared less if they passed away. I really couldn't have. And she just kept bugging and bugging and bugging me. And she's like, let's go to Mexico together. My parents had a place down there. Just the two of us. Like, I won't bring anything up. We'll just hang out. And somehow along the line, she convinced me to go.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, whatever, like free trip to Mexico, get drunk on the beach, whatever. And we went down to the family place down in Cabo. But then like halfway through, my dad showed up.
What's up?
And I was like, why the fuck is dad here? We don't get along. Like, I want to leave right now. I want to go home. And she's like, oh, he just wants to spend some time with you. And I was like, since when? Like, dad's never spent time with me. Even now, we do, like, I just hunted with my dad and my brother. I'm going on Friday in a few days to Mexico to fish the Bisbee with my mom and dad. But even to this day, me and my dad have never one time done anything, just the two of us, ever.
Really?
Ever.
Have you ever tried?
Yes.
And it's just a no from him?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do
you still, have you, okay, Before we get into the traffic thing, do you feel that have your dad ever reconciled? Have you ever talked about those
tried.
times?
So just recently I brought up this whole Mexico thing and like asked for an apology, and you just get gaslit.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you put on a face to just think everything's cool then at that point? I mean, obviously
I don't like it. It took a lot of counseling and therapy,
For sure.
and I just had to make a decision. Like either I keep like being hurt by this and fight this, and
Let it win.
always want an apology that I'm never going to get, and let it eat away at me and fester, and then have these negative feelings towards my family and have basically no relationship with them. I'd have to cut them out of my life for my own mental health, or just accept the fact that they are who they are. I'm never going to get that from them. I won't get the apology, and just take it for face value and still be able to have some kind of relationship with them and have my family in my life. My counselor says I'm crazy. She says, like, cut them out, never talk to them. Like, but it's your family, right? Like, well, you can't cut out your family.
It's so, okay. This is like, we have this saying in this house that we call it God shit when there's weird things that happen you just can't explain. Like, I just recently removed my family from my life, like,
Cut off, yeah.
because of a lot of things that have come to head now. So that's why I'm not just asking
we're
for
on total opposite ends here. I'm trying to find a way to like.
I grew up opposite. I grew up incredible childhood, incredible parents, but then when I hit the teenage, that's when I've been like shunned.
Yeah.
And I was always, and then come to find out years later, I don't even know why I'm putting this out on the air, but whatever. They don't watch it anyways. And so I've been through, we're humans. We go through different things, and I've been through some pretty rough times. And then to find out now that my dad, that shunned me and disowned me for my earlier mistakes of being the black sheep and just being an idiot, he went through all that shit, and he never came to me and was like, "Hey, son, like sit out." Like, I've experienced this, and especially from the Christian point, right? We're Christians in this home. I'm a baby Christian. I fell away from it and I think a lot of it had to do with them being like these righteous Christians that are on this pedestal looking down on me. And instead of ever connecting with me and coming together as like a dad and a son, especially now as a father, like if I knew my children went through something that I experienced, or my wife went through something that our daughters are going through, we're going to do everything we can to connect and relate to them.
Exactly.
But instead it's, you're the problem.
Yeah.
You need to find God. You need to get yourself righteous again. You need the fruit of the Lord. And I'm sitting here like, but what about X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, F, G, everything that they're doing? Why is it just, and so that's where I'm at with this. And so it came to a head just literally like last week. And I said my goodbyes because nothing will ever change. And they're like that generation where they're just so, it's you. And I'm like, why can't we all just look at each other or look at ourselves in the mirror?
Gaslighting is real. There's no accountability. Like, my dad will even say things like, that never happened, or like, you're just making that up. And I'm like,
my mom has told me stuff, and I've brought it back up to her. She's like, I never said that.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
exactly.
And my wife's like, you 100% told me the story. Why does it happen? And I'm trying to explain this, and so it's I don't know if it's just the ignorance, the gaslighting, all the typical that generation. This is where I'm so curious about this, because you're like,
maybe one day I will just have had enough and cut them out, because I've gone back and forth through all the years. Right now I'm working on trying to
sure,
have
and I'm not,
thing.
I
it is toxic. Like, even like going hunting, like these little things come up, and there's always like the little digs and the whatever, where I just have to keep my mouth shut and basically let them shit on me or be toxic to me and
this
be
is
abusive
hilarious
in different ways. And I just keep my mouth shut to keep the peace. And it's like, come on,
I'm 100% with you.
39 years old. Like, it's like,
I can't have
you're gonna do this forever. Like,
God, this is hilarious. I'm sure she's over there behind the camera and like, we go home every year, and in the last like 5 years, my wife would be like, let's go. Like, she's like my buffer, because she'll see it building in me, because like they'll say things, and I'll go to like, and she's like, let's go for a walk. And so I'm gone the whole entire time. So this last trip, I'm like, why am I even here? Like, why, if you're having to pull me out of these situations,
and my son too. Yeah.
See, when your kids are seeing it, there's a problem.
Yeah. He said, we all did family Christmas together. And I remember this was just recently, like this last Christmas. And afterwards, he said to me, he was like, wow, so Baba is grandma and then Papa is my dad to him. He's like, Papa, I think maybe like loves you in his own way. He's like, but Baba, like, she actually hates you. Like, she actually hates you. My own son saying this about my mom. And I'm just like, yeah. For him to see that and say that is just.
But so that's where I'm at is, and I look at my sister, and I don't know how you look at your brother, but my sister is a direct reflection of my mom. So it's just now that generational curse. I look at it at my sister, and I'm like, you're the next mom in the family. And then now
it's like my brother and my dad. Yeah.
So I'm the bad guy because I'm trying to break this generational curse. And I'm like, I don't want to be like them. And if this is how you represent Christianity and Christians, I don't want to be like that because you judge, you gossip, everything, these little things that you're taking digs at me over, you're like, well, why can't we all just lay our fruit on the table and see what we have here? But then my sister's like, you need to apologize, you this, and this is like a fucking therapy session right now. This is wild chaos. You never know how these episodes are going to go, but that's
exactly what it's like in my family.
So then my mom,
there's no accountability. Like growing up, we used to get, especially me and my mom, I'm talking like I had to beat the shit out of my mom many times. Like Christmas Day, I put her head through the kitchen wall, like right through the drywall, and we had to like patch it and everything the next day. And but then always the next day, we'd all just
everything's
be at
fine.
The breakfast table, and everyone would just be talking. And my mom's got all these black eyes and whatever, and we're just all acting like nothing happened because you can't bring it up. Like if I were to bring it up and try to, then it's like it's just it's so toxic.
I thought I was the only one.
Yeah,
this is hilarious.
Yeah, so I actually ended up with this like fear of communication that I had to go through a lot of therapy to get over, because with my family, you can't bring anything up. You can't.
Nothing's talked about.
Yelled at. You're wrong for feeling that way. You're lying. You're making it up. You're gaslit. Just all these things. So that went through into relationships where, like, you know, someone would be doing something, friendships or partners that hurt me, and I could never speak up about it or say, hey, I don't like this. And I would just bottle it up and then until it just blows up,
which
and,
is a horrible
and ends everything because of this fear of communication, because my family does not communicate.
That's my wife. My wife is like, you guys, on my wife's side of the family, just as fucked, but in a whole different situation. But she's like, I don't understand you people. And she's like telling my mom this, she's like, none of you communicate. She's like, just call your son.
They'll talk shit about each other, but they don't communicate.
They gossip all day on the phone, all day on the phone. And then you try to bring it up. Nah, that never happened. I never said that. I'm like, Mom, you literally just texted it like last week. So, well, that's interesting. Now that we know that we have that's hilarious.
Well, that was just then recently in January or February this year. I was at dinner. My dad was there. Mexico got brought up. And I was just like, you know, I've never gotten an apology or anything. And he was just like, I would do it again. I would do it all over again tomorrow if I had to. And I'm like,
that's the mindset.
You know what that did to me and the way my life went for the next 10 years after that because of this place?
It's spiraled.
Like, you know, but there's just, yeah.
See, instead of me going to Mexico, I joined the military. That was my out. And I never looked back. And that was it. And then we've brought things up from the past, and I'm like, I've sat down with my wife. I'm like, am I the fucking crazy one?
They make you feel like you are, though. They make you feel like you are. That's the whole point of like narcissistic tendencies, right?
Absolutely, gaslighting,
spin everything,
And I'm like, I feel like I've. And my wife's like, you have said these things since I've met you. She's like, nothing has changed. And she's like, but now she sees it. And she's like, oh, it's all been brought to light. And I'm like, here's the generation. And like, I have to snip that vine. And I'm not saying I don't want to reconcile. Like it kills me knowing my dad lost a son to cancer and then now just lost his other son due to life, like us and our disagreements. And last thing I want to do is cut my parents out. But if everything's negative, everything's toxic, I'm the sinner, I'm going to hell, I'm not the proper leader in my family. And like, here I am sitting and I'm like, dude, she just, out of our giant ass church, she just got accepted out of like a dozen kids, out of hundreds and hundreds of kids, to be this youth leader. And she did all the the pastors and the pastor's wife, like everybody are pulling hers. I'm like, if we're so in sin and this family is so just got this negative cloud over us, I'm like, why are we being blessed so much? Why is my relationship with my wife right now the greatest it's ever been? Why are my kids thriving? If I'm so cursed and I have this cloud over us and the fruits of the Lord are not in me, like, why am I so blessed right now? Like, I'm like, I pray for all of you, but you're not praying for certain people because they're sinning. And I'm like, is that right? Like, how are we here to judge people?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot to unwrap.
Same thing. My parents will constantly try to like harp on me for like the way that I raised my son or my relationship with him. I'm like, me and my son are best. Like, we do everything together. We are literally, he tells me, Mom, you're my best friend. All the time.
That's the greatest.
We have the most
compliment.
open line of communication. He calls me and tells like, hey, I had a threesome last night. I'm like, I don't need to know the details, And he's like telling me everything. And I'm just like, he's 19.
Yeah.
So I was just like, he just tells me everything, and we're so close, and we have such a great relationship. And then like, my parents would make these digs or say things, and I'm like, we only even started getting along in the last like couple of years, and you're gonna try and tell me about being a parent.
Yeah.
Even being here. So yesterday was Thanksgiving in Canada, and like my dad had to like text me a dig in the morning, like, oh, you're in Idaho not having Thanksgiving with your son. And I'm just like, first of all, my son's like out golfing, he's with the boys, he's 19, he's doing his thing, and he's like, oh, you should be at home spending time with them. I'm like, yeah, how much time did you spend with me when I was 19? He's like, oh, I hung out with you all the time. I'm like, did you? Like, do you even remember? Because I remember I was pregnant the whole year of 19, and I was nowhere near you. Like,
you're like, I remember specifically because I was pregnant. You don't forget that time period. Yeah, interesting. Okay, now that we got that therapy session out of the way, I want to know how you got trafficked or sucked into a child trafficking ring.
Yeah, so, well, I'll explain how it went down first and then how it gets to being called trafficking. So yeah, my dad came down to Mexico, and on top of that, he's being really nice. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, took me to the bar. And I remember I'm like 14, right? Okay. Buying me drinks. Like I'm just like, this is just weird. I was like, whatever, I'll just go along with it. And then when we were flying home, they were like, oh, there's this like big festival in this town, like let's do a layover there and get a hotel and spend the night, and everyone's gonna dance through the streets and all this stuff. And I was just like had my probably like a Discman back then or whatever it was, music on, ignoring them. I'm like, whatever, I'll just stay in the hotel. You guys do your thing. So we landed. I didn't even know, I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't even know what city we were in. And we were picked up in this van, and we were driving, and then I'm just not paying attention. I'm listening to my music. It was really late at night. It was like midnight, I think. We get to this like big long wall and these gates. They're like, oh, I think this is the hotel. And again, I'm just not even paying attention, just doing my thing. And we drive in, and my parents get out, and I'm just not even looking around. And all of a sudden, these like two huge guys get in, and they're like, hey, you're here now, you need to come with us, you're not going home. And I was like, what? I like look up, and I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way, but you're coming with us. I'm like, fuck you, it's gonna be the hard way. Like, I went
100%.
kicking and fucking punching and biting and screaming. They dragged me out, and like, you're gonna be here till you're 18, like you're stuck here now. And they were dragging me out of this van, and I just remember like looking over and seeing my parents. I'm like, I fucking hate you, like fuck you, like screaming at them, like no idea where I am, don't know what city I'm in, don't like nothing. It's middle of the night.
So they set this all up.
There was no surgery. So talk about trust issues and abandonment issues.
Wait. Your mom lies to you, says she's going into a surgery.
She might
die, wants to see you, flies you to Mexico, then flies your dad in to trap you, to take you to what? Where do they take you?
Yes, exactly. So it's called, the real name for these is called the WASP programs, WWASP, Worldwide Association of Specialty Programs. They kind of put them out as these, like a behavioral modification program for juvenile delinquents type thing. But really it was a cult. So I never realized that actually, like I just kind of was like, oh yeah, this thing for fucked up kids.
Yeah.
It was run by Mormons, so it was all
Shocker.
Mormon. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, every time with the Mormons, bro. Every time. I'm sorry, but it's
run by Mormons. They're all over the U.S., right? So they were kind of dotted all around. And then there was one when I went. There was one in Mexico in Ensenada, so just past Tijuana, which is the one where I went to.
So that's where you figured out. How long did it take you to figure out you were in Ensenadas?
Well, it was the next day.
Okay.
So, and then there was one in Jamaica and one in Costa Rica.
None in Utah?
Most people, there was definitely one in Utah.
Okay.
Yeah. Most people just went to the ones in the U.S. And then if you really fucked up there or were defiant or running away or whatever, then they'd ship you to Mexico. Well, my parents were like, we're just going to fucking ship her to Mexico to start with. The worst of the worst. Like, you know.
What kind of kids are in there?
Oh, God, there was such a mix. I mean, there were like girls that had been jumped into gangs or tricked out into prostitution at age like 11, 12. And then there was like a Mormon girl that her parents found a little note she'd written to her friend that they were going to sip cider on the weekend, and they sent her down there. So it was a big mix.
Oh, my God.
They were all Americans. I was the first and only Canadian there. And so Netflix just came out on a documentary about where I was last year. And it was the #1 watched show on Netflix for like 3 months. And it's called the program Cons, Cults, and Kidnapping. They kidnap the kids and send them to... Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I was. Yeah. And it's based on the one in Utah. Is the one that it's all filmed in, and girls that were at the one in Utah. And one of the girls there had come from Mexico. So eventually the federales raided the one that I was in after I got out and shut it down.
If the federales are raiding shit...
They raided it and shut it down and put all the kids in buses and dropped them all off at the border because they were all American. So it got shut down by the Mexican federale.
How long were you there?
From 14 to 17.
Damn. So how'd you get out early?
So I'd been having these like health issues and stuff, and my parents were kind of like, what is going on here? Like, they're not taking care
now they care?
the kids. Yeah, now they care. And you have to go through levels, and once you get to certain levels, you get certain privileges. Like there's no phone calls, no nothing to home at all for the first longest time you're there. And once you get up to certain things, then you can have like a home visit. So you have to get to like go home, and then your parents send you back. And this happens constantly.
How traumatic is this? This is traumatizing on children.
So on a home visit, I managed to convince them to not send me back. But I was 17. I would have aged out at 18 anyways.
Okay.
But so in that documentary, they break it all down and who was actually running it, where the money was going. And they break it all down that it's child trafficking. It's like, it's moving children around for profit, right? So they're trafficking children through all these programs for all this profit, and they're not helping them. There's no help. Like, if she watched it, she knows. Yeah.
So what's a day in and day out like there?
Yeah. So the part that was really fucked up about it is it was cult. It was a cult, and they did these brainwashing seminars that we had to do every week the whole time we were there.
Like what?
Like, they used techniques that like Hitler had used when he was doing experiments brainwashing Jews and stuff, like actual brainwashing techniques. And so they were doing this to us, all these children, constantly the whole time we were there. And it's to like break you down to then try to build you back up into what they are trying to make you to be.
Are they pushing the LDS religion on you guys or no?
No, it wasn't about religion.
Okay.
But it was... Yeah, just like it was messed up. So like getting out of there, and like those are such formative years of your life, like 14 to 17. Like you're growing, your brain's growing, you're
hormones
learning
are
things.
Kicking in.
Yeah, and so to just be like in this brainwash cult the whole time, like that fucked me up. Like I was fucked up in the head after that for a really long time.
Did you start to? Was there ever a point where you were like, okay, this is a cult, or was it working on you?
Oh no! I
into
fought
the program?
I fought it the whole way through.
For sure,
the whole way through. I like played nice and like jumped through the hoops, but I was never believing. Like I was never drinking the Kool-Aid.
Were you watching other kids?
Yeah,
really?
Oh yeah. But I just knew. So again, this is where like being super smart came into play.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up. So there's 6 levels. The first 3 are called lower levels, where you just have no privileges at all. So you're also like we just have nothing. Like, you have no personal belongings, no nothing. You're not allowed to shave, not allowed to pluck your eyebrow, like just nothing, you know? And then you weren't allowed to speak because we're in Mexico, so there's no freedom of speech, no this. So you weren't allowed to speak at all, ever. You had to get permission to open your mouth and talk.
These young children are, oh my
So
God.
for the first 3 levels, yeah, you can't talk.
How long did the first 3 levels
So it
last?
takes most people like a year and a half to get to like upper levels. I did it in 3 months because I was just like,
Playing
I'm
the
going
game?
to play this game. It's that brain of mine,
Okay.
right?
Smart.
But yeah, so we could get, it's funny, my parents always say, she went to boarding school. There was not a single teacher there. There was no school. We had correspondence. Like, they would just send books and you just sit there and
read
and write the test and mail the test in. Like, I had to teach myself. My whole high school, it was self-taught there through these little correspondence books. There's no teachers there.
Oh my God.
And they're like, you were in boarding school in Mexico on the beach, is what they tell everyone.
This is such a boomer thing.
There was
to
no
do.
beach. Like, we were like high walls in this like
Yeah.
locked in facility.
Just cactus and
Yeah,
scorpions everywhere.
And it was like, oh God, it was dirty and
How was the
really
living
abusive.
conditions?
I remember like seeing a girl, like they made these, I mean, the food was, I don't even know what they were feeding us half the time, just like slop, right? And they would give us these big portions, and like it was hard to eat it because it was disgusting. I remember seeing a girl like puke up her food on her plate, and then they made her eat all her puke, right? Like, that's the kind of place that it was. Yeah, that was really.
All I'm picturing right now is Nacho Libre as he's scooping the slop in like the little Catholic school. Have you seen this movie?
Yes.
Like, that's what,
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah, it was messed up.
Oh
like,
my.
And then on top of that, like, yeah, the abuse was just rampant.
Abuse how?
Physical abuse, verbal abuse.
From
mental
other kids
abuse.
there or from the
No,
staff?
from the staff.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they taking
Sexual
sexual
abuse.
advantage of girls there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that? I don't mind. You don't have.
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was one of the health things that came up. I ended up getting an STI when I was there. And then they have to take me to the gyno and give me whatever pills to get rid of it. And my parents are like, what the fuck? Like, how does that happen? And everything's monitored. So you can only write letters home and they read them before they go out. So you can't say anything. Once you get to upper levels, you get phone calls, but you're there and your caseworker's there on the phone. So if you even try to say anything, they shut it down. So I just had to be like, I don't know, maybe from sitting on a toilet seat. And it's like, how stupid as a parent do you have to be to even fall for that, first of all? You know?
Oh my God. These poor kids.
Yeah.
How many of the staff are involved in what's going on?
I don't know, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay.
So the living conditions, there was like, those portables that they would have back in school back in the day. I don't know if you guys had that. Like, when the school doesn't have enough classrooms, they put those like portables outside, and those are classrooms.
Okay, yeah, almost like a Connex box, but converted in a way?
Yeah,
Or like
yeah,
a little
yeah.
little trailer?
Yeah, like
Okay.
a trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we had. And then, you just walk in. It was like a really tiny hallway and just bunk beds on both sides. And then a bathroom at the end. And so that was like where we lived. So when I first got there, and I remember it's like middle of the night. So they just take me, and then they just take me into this room, and there's just all these bunk beds on either side. And they're like, that's your bed, go to sleep. Roll call will be in the morning. And I'm just like, I don't know where I am. And so these girls are like looking at me, and I'm asking them, I'm like, where am I? Like, what is this place? And they're all like, won't speak because you're not allowed to talk. And if you speak, you get shit, you drop all your levels down. You have to start the program all over again.
Oh my God, so you're just freaking.
And I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to ask these other kids, where am I? What is this? Like, nothing. No one would say anything.
Have you ever sat your parents down and told them what happened there?
I've tried. They don't want to hear it. And then the documentary came out, and I said, are you going to watch it? They're like, no. Because they just don't want to admit. And then after me fighting them on it, finally one day they were like, yeah, we watched it. I don't really believe that they did, though.
Because if they did, they would
I
know.
don't know. But they know. They just don't want to admit it, So that was a thing recently this year, sitting down with my dad, being like, this place was fucked up, you know? And he was just like, I would do it again.
That's got to cut deep, though.
Yeah. I was like, fuck you. You would do it
Sure.
again. Like I was sexually abused, mentally abused. All these things happened there. And he looked at me dead and he goes, well, I didn't know that happened. I'm like, yes, you did. That's what was the health shit. Why I fucking came home because I got an STI, remember? He's like, I don't remember that. I'm just like, okay. Sure, Dad.
Oh my God. That's heart wrenching. Because especially being a girl dad and just how crucial those years were. So once you got out of there, unless there's more you want to talk about there.
I mean, I could go on for hours about the shit went on there, but watch the documentary. It's out there. Yeah. And whatever you see in the documentary, it was worse where I was because that one was in Utah and I was in Mexico. So, yeah. But it's out there. Anyone can see it. Anyone can watch it.
And what was it called?
It's called The Program, Cons, Cults, and Kidnapping. Yeah.
Oh, my God. And you were smack dab in the center of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Mexico, out of all places.
In Mexico. Yeah.
That's terrifying. I couldn't even imagine. I could not imagine. So now that you're 17, you convince your parents to not send you back. Mm-hmm. Where did it go from there?
So I was already finished my high school. Like I got my diploma at 16 when I was in the program, just doing everything by, like, also super fast. I think I did grade 10, 11, and 12 in like 11 months or 10 months or something. So I enrolled in college, got a job, was working, trying to figure out life. Mm-hmm. But I obviously had some like
trauma
issues. Yeah.
For sure.
Going on.
Was that affecting your life?
I didn't think so.
Okay.
It's only been probably in the last like 5 years that I've been able to realize why I was the way I was when I was younger.
Absolutely. That
this really did mess me up. I would just always, thought that's just how I am. Like I didn't put the connection. Mm-hmm. And then that was when I met my son's dad. So started dating him at 17, which was just another roller coaster of abuse. But that's the thing. So when you've gone through this kind of abuse with your parents, then you go through even more abuse at this program. It's like, that's all you know. Yeah. So I spent so much of my life just finding people like that then in my life. And because I didn't know any better, which now I can recognize and make different choices. But so, yeah, that was a very tumultuous relationship.
How so?
Very toxic. He was just super, super abusive. Yeah.
Okay.
But he was the love of my life, young and dumb, my first love. So, yeah, when I found out I was pregnant, actually, we had just broken up the week before. He went back to jail. And then I find out I'm pregnant and like, we're not even together. He's in jail. I'm like, oh God, like what now?
And you're 19 at this point?
Mm-hmm. Okay. 19. And so I like told him and he was like, no, like we have to do this. Like I want him. Let's make it work.
I'll
blah,
change.
Blah, blah. Yeah, I'll change everything. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. So he gets out. We get back together, get a place, the whole thing, go to birthing classes. He was super involved, everything, everything was going great. I go into labor. My son's born on my birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
Same birthday, 20th birthday, just after midnight. I deliver my son an hour later. We got engaged. So an hour later, my fiance is like, oh, I'm just going to get some water. And he just never came back. So my 20th birthday, I'm in the hospital at like 2 a.m, holding my newborn baby. I'm engaged. And I'm like, where is he? And I'm like calling him and he's just giving me the fuck off button. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Did you know deep down?
I knew instantly. Yeah. Was
he a user? Was he on drugs?
He didn't. I was, but he wasn't.
What were you on?
Yeah. Well, at the time I was pregnant, so I wasn't. But I was smoking meth when I got pregnant and crack and doing lots of cocaine. I was on drugs heavy for a long time after being in that program.
100%. I'm not justifying it, but you've been abandoned by your parents. You've got in a child trafficking cult in Mexico. It only makes sense that you're going to...
I ended up on heroin for about a decade. Yeah. I know. Surprise, shocker. That's when people don't. When I was like hunting all over the world and filming at that documentary Hunting on Netflix, I was rocked on heroin the whole time. Like I like watched this documentary that it's not on Netflix anymore, but it was, and I'm like sitting on my bear rug at my place in Croatia, and I'm like watching it, and I'm like, how did nobody know? Because I was a high functioning addict, right? I've always been successful. I've always been high functioning. Like I was rocked the whole time. Yeah.
Damn, you were lucky to be alive.
I know I am. Yeah.
And to have an incredible relationship with your son. I'm like just.
I know that's the one thing that, and I've always been open about it. I don't hide it. I share it all the time.
Yeah.
But most people just see my life now and they just never realize like, or even what my life was then, and they just never realized
You have
what I was
fought
battling. Yeah.
every statistic to get to the point where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
How hard was it coming off heroin, being a high functioning heroin addict?
So again, here's my brain. I'm too smart for my own good. I hacked the system. I found out how to use for however long, months on end, years, whatever. And then if I needed to get off of it for some reason, especially with the traveling hunting, right? So I would have to like find ways to smuggle heroin like with me onto a plane.
That was my
and
next
I'd like
question.
take like brown eyeshadow and like empty it out and pack the heroin in so it looked like, and just hope dogs wouldn't smell it. And I was like, this is getting really dangerous. I was like, I need to be able to stop so I can go do a hunt, travel, whatever, and then come home and start again. So I started like researching, and I was like, okay, Suboxone, right? It's like a methadone, but it's pill form. And I was like, well, the half-life of Suboxone is only so many days, and the half-life of heroin is only so many days. So I was like, okay, I would stop doing heroin that day, pick up off the street a bunch of Suboxone pills. Day one, I would take like 12 pills so I wouldn't get sick from the heroin. Day two, I'd take 6 pills. Day three, I'd take 3. And then by then, the half-life, the heroin's worked through your system, so you're not going to get down sick anymore, and you haven't been on the Suboxone long enough to get withdrawals from stopping that.
Oh my!
And then I just feel like now I have no withdrawals, and I can
function,
go on this trip and not need heroin to be, because you need it to
sure
function. Like your body needs it to feel normal, or you're sick. And there's my brain. I'd hacked the system, and then I could just pick it up and stop it and pick it up whenever I wanted.
You are fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you
face right now.
yeah, I don't even like. I love this because this is reality. I mean, there's the thing I love about this is there's so many people that have gone through this and are going through this, and so to hear this and to see your success and overcoming and just battling this is wild.
And so I only again recently realized why I did so many drugs and why there was not a day that I wasn't on drugs from 17 to like 30. And I didn't realize, I was just like, oh, I just like to get back to, oh, I'm not an addict, I just like to have fun, oh, I just like to party. I never, because it was just everything, whatever was there I would do, like it didn't matter. Like I said, meth, crack, heroin, anything. I didn't just discern or just.
You never had the little in the back of your head like, this is heroin, I probably should. I
have fun.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't until later in life that I realized I was so fucked up from going to Mexico
100%
program, especially with the brainwashing and stuff they do there and what that did to me mentally and internally and just what I was battling. Yeah.
What's really sad is that, let's say your path went left instead of right. People would just look, oh, she's just a junkie. Oh, she lost everything. She chose drugs over her kids. She chose drugs over her career, whatever. Nobody ever takes the time to unpack
what got you there.
I mean, granted, there's a lot of really good people that just one day they try something and boom, they're sucked in. But I feel the majority, especially people that are battling horrible drug addictions, there's a lot that has led to that point. And I mean, here you are doing this on your own.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. But so the end of all of it, I guess, for me was because like back then you could do drugs and no one was really dying, right? Until fentanyl came out and started killing everyone. And I hit the deck twice.
On fentanyl?
Fentanyl, yeah.
Explain that. What's fentanyl feel like?
It's the same as heroin. It's
Okay.
just stronger.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't intentionally doing fentanyl. I was living in Croatia.
Okay.
And I can't remember if it was when I had just moved back to Canada or I was visiting. It was one of the two. I don't know. And I picked up heroin, or what I thought was heroin. And yeah, overdosed. And I just remember like afterwards, like coming to and just being like, I have a son. Like I was, raising my son. Me and him were super close. Again, I was a high functioning addict. Nobody knew I was on drugs. I wasn't like, down low, I was making money, building a business, like raising a kid on my own, doing all this stuff while I was high all the time doing it. And yeah, that was just like the wake up call that I needed. I was like, holy fuck, like fentanyl is killing everyone. I went to 12 funerals in 1 year of friends dying from fentanyl. And I was just like, I can't keep doing this. Like, my kid's he already doesn't have a dad. Like, can't leave him without a mom. And I just never did it again, ever.
Really?
And never wanted to. But that's the crazy thing. This is why when people are like, oh, addiction's a disease, it's with you forever. I'm like, you're just fucking weak. Like, get your mind stronger, because I stopped and I've never thought about it since. I can be around it. Like, nothing. It's just like,
You never get the itch?
Never once, ever.
That's great.
It's just like, if you're strong enough in the head, you can do the same. Like when I quit smoking, I smoked for 20 something years. And one day I went to light a cigarette and my son started crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? Like, why are you crying? And he's like, you're going to get cancer and because you smoke, and I'm going to have to come visit you in the hospital and take care of you. And I was like, I threw the pack out the window and never lit another cigarette again since, mind over matter. So
I'm with it 100%. I can't speak. I'm the opposite. Mine, like I know who I am as a person, and so when I like something, but I don't have an obsessive personality. That my brother had that trait. He would obsess and get hooked, and for me, I could do everything one time. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
like so I can't speak from any experience, but yeah, I have some buddies that they battle some addictions, and then they would just walk cold turkey from shit. And I'm like, bro, like, they're like, no, I'm done.
Some people will harp on me for saying that, like, just fucking stop. It's not that hard, but I can say that because I've done it, and I do think it's just how mentally strong you are. And the people that keep like relapsing or saying like, yeah, it's a disease and this and that. Well, first of all, by saying that to yourself, you're creating that.
You're downplaying it.
Right? Like you're telling yourself you'll always battle it. You're telling yourself it's always going to be there. Well, then it is, right? Like
absolutely.
Self-talk, right? It's limiting, self-limiting beliefs and all that stuff.
100%. I have we know a guy, he was a hardcore heroin addict, hardcore. Finds out he got a chick pregnant and had a son. Didn't even know. He just finds out he had a son. He had his brother tie him up in a basement or handcuff him to a pipe
to shake it out.
And he's like, do not uncuff me till I'm broke. And
it's the worst, that sickness. Like,
so when you officially withdrew off of everything, at some point you say you broke the code and took the pill.
So I wouldn't get sick. But before I figured that out, I would get sick. Yeah.
And it's horrible.
It's the worst.
That's what draws people back, I feel like, is how much pain they're in.
It was either blow my head off or get some heroin in me because I'm in that much pain. Like literally some days. Yeah.
You think that would be scary enough that once you kicked it, you'd be like, I am never doing that again. But it's crazy how the mind will just, you need it. That your willingness to like want that again.
To go through that again. Yeah. But then that was the dangerous part, was when I hacking the system and figuring out I could do the Suboxone and go back and forth. Cause then there was no reason
to come off,
to stop. Yeah, exactly.
Until you took some fentanyl, got given some fentanyl. That shit's scary.
Yeah. I'm lucky to be alive.
You overdosed twice on it?
Twice, yeah. Yeah.
I can't even believe you're sitting here.
Yeah.
You've had some angels guarding your ass for sure.
I think so. Yeah. The amount of times I should have died in my life, I tell you.
I got my list. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, my wife is like, I've watched you use 9 of your lives. I don't know what you used prior to me. She's like, you're done with everything. I'm like, all right, valid point.
I know. And then especially the way I live my life now too, like the chaos,
But do you feel now and I don't mean this in any negative way, but with your travels and constantly being gone, do you ever feel like you're just trying to get away or just keep your mind busy and distracted elsewhere, or are you just something that you love? I mean, do you ever...
something I love.
Okay.
Especially the living with tribes. So that was actually when I was in Mexico. I had written an essay, I think just for myself, when I was 15, about how I wanted to travel the world and live with tribes one day. And I was like locked in this place, just dreaming of the life that I could maybe have if I ever get out of here. And that was something I wanted to do. And I had written this whole like little business plan on how I was going to do it. I was going to like pitch to National Geographic. Like this was before Netflix and internet and Google, like all that stuff didn't exist. No social media, whatever. So I was like, oh, I'll pitch to National Geographic that I'm going to travel and like learn all their different dances or whatever they do, whatever I could think to get them to fund it. And I just had this whole dream at 15, and well, now I'm doing it. So
what, if you don't mind me asking, what career did you build to be able to live this lifestyle that you do?
Yeah. So shocker to a lot of people, I own a cleaning company.
Really?
Yeah.
How large is this cleaning company?
Pretty big. So I have a commercial division, a post-construction division, and residential division. And the post-construction is like just prints money.
So you're coming up and cleaning up after construction sites?
Yeah, I do. Like when it's done, not during the construction. And mostly it's like towers, like apartment buildings, condo buildings. Towers. I put 2 girls in there for 2 months and charge $100,000 to do the building. And I mean, do the math. There's like no overhead. It's a phenomenal business to be in.
It just prints money for you. Mailbox money.
And I've got a really good team on the ground at home that I trust that like run the crews so I can be gone traveling and doing my thing. Yeah.
Good for you.
Worked out very well for me. Yeah.
Good for
I'll
you.
never forget when I said, I was like, I'm going to start a cleaning company. Everyone's like, you're going to what? Like, and in my first year, I doubled my income that I'd ever made before that. And I started by cleaning houses myself. So I'm going in, scrubbing people's toilets, picking up their husband's pubes out of the shower, like whatever I had to do to build up the clientele until I had enough that I could hire another girl to help, and then another and another, and just build it up to what it is now.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And here you are.
Everyone's like, they see my life and they're like, what is she doing? Like, it's got to be some elaborate thing. I'm like, business doesn't have to be that complicated. You just find something that everybody needs with low overhead that's easy to run. Cleaning. Everybody needs cleaning.
No shit.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
Because I've asked around, and everybody's like, I don't know, or I think she's in real estate. And like,
I do. Like, yeah, now that I've invested in real estate, I've got rentals and, some other things, stocks and stuff, but that's my main income. Yeah.
Good for you. So that has built this ability to be able to travel the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into world travels, because that's, now that we've unpacked our childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Which is always healthy to do. Who would have thought Wild Chaos would be a freaking therapy show?
Session.
Yeah. World travels, which you have been to a lot of countries. And I don't know if I have asked you in conversation, but are you ever terrified of just traveling by yourself in these foreign countries?
No. The thought of bringing someone with me is a little bit terrifying.
Why is that?
To be honest, just because I would now have to like change what I'm doing because someone else is there.
Okay.
Maybe like they don't want to hike this volcano tomorrow or go to you know what I mean? I'd now have to like accommodate someone else.
Yeah.
Especially because I am so well traveled and I plan everything. It would be me accommodating them and planning the things for them. And I just love to do me.
Yeah.
And just wake up every day doing exactly what I want to do on that day and the adventure I want to go on, which nobody else wants to go on. I've tried to my friends, like, yeah, I'm going to go on this trip and I'm going to do this or that. Like, you want to come? And everyone's like, no, I don't want to fucking do that. Like, I want to go sit in an all-inclusive beach and drink margaritas all day,
Yeah, I probably feel it would be a hard pitch to your friends to be like, hey, we're going to go in the Amazon. We're going to blow dart monkeys. We're going to cook them on a fire, and that's going to be dinner every night.
Right.
I would 100 personally. That's like how we are as a family. Like, you guys want to do some crazy shit, and we just go try to figure it out.
But then not just that. So even that trip, like I did that week with that tribe.
Yeah.
But I was in South America for 3.5 months. And I think in that 3.5 months, I only had 2 rest days where I didn't have any kind of excursion or adventure or hike or something planned, that I could just rest. And so I would just take my travel days as my rest days. Like, I'm going from this place to this place and I have a 10-hour bus ride or whatever. That's the only rest that I got. And then the whole time it's like going to this volcano, going to this geyser, going to this whatever, every single day for 3.5 months, like no chill.
Damn.
And people just don't want to travel like that. You know, they burn out.
Yeah,
I don't burn out.
I can probably see that for sure. So let's talk Amazon. What's it like being a woman in the Amazon rainforest living with a tribe?
I don't think being a woman really played into it much.
Okay.
For me, at first, maybe, like, the tribes were just kind of looking like, oh yeah. And I was, they kind of like asked. So every time I live with the tribe, there's always a different way I managed to get in there, right? I always have to organize it somehow.
Okay.
I went to South America knowing I wanted to go live with a tribe in the Amazon. I didn't know what country or which tribe. I was just like, I'll figure it out while I'm down there. I really wanted to go to one in Venezuela, but I couldn't find anyone to take me in because of the political unrest there right now.
Yeah.
So how I ended up finding this specific tribe, I was flying. So I went to Peru, did an ayahuasca retreat in the Amazon.
I want to touch on that. Don't let me forget that.
And then, so when I was like planning the trip, I'm like, okay, well, after that, I'm probably going to need some kind of like decompression, but I can't just sit around and do nothing. So I had booked the Galapagos Islands right after Peru.
I want to.
And that was also a childhood dream.
Okay.
So I had to fly into Quito, which is the main city in Ecuador, have a layover, and then go to the Galapagos Islands, which is in Ecuador. So I had one night there. So I was like, okay, I hired this tour guide just to do like a city tour to check out all the old history stuff and whatever for the day. So I was talking to him and I'm like, yeah, I really want to go stay with tribes. Like, this is what I've been trying to do. And he's like, oh, I know a guy that takes people to the Waorani tribe in Ecuador. So that was how I managed to get that in.
So while you're on your travels, do you have it all planned out, or are you just like, hey, I'm going to get to this point and I'm going to figure it out?
I fly a one-way flight, and every morning I just wake up, what city do I want to go to sleep in tonight? Or what country do I want to sleep in tonight? And I just like...
That's incredible.
I just go, I'm like, hey, Airbnb checkout's 10 o'clock. So 8 o'clock, I'm just like, okay, where can I go from here? What can I go do over there? What crazy fun stuff is there? And I just... like figure it out as I go.
So you find a guy that's going to get you contact to bring you into the forest to live with this tribe.
Yeah. So, and I planned to just do that later. So I was like, okay, I'll come back to Ecuador later. I still didn't even have a date or anything, but at least I had a contact.
Okay.
So then I go to the Galapagos. I'm like swimming with penguins and sharks and all that stuff. And then went on to hike all through Patagonia, Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia. And then at the very end, I arranged, okay, now I'm going to go back to Ecuador. But that was how, and this is like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know who's on the other end of the line. I'm just trusting I'm going to show up, jump in their little canoe and not be chopped up somewhere in the middle of the Amazon. Yeah. Just like full blind faith, you know?
This is like where my mind is watching you. I'm like, hey, and as you're explaining this, you could just whoop and gone, and no
one would know either because I move so much, and no one knows where I am. My parents don't even know, like they don't even know what country I'm in half the time. My family doesn't know. My friends don't know. I'm only like 3 days this country, 3 days that country. I'm just so all over the place. It's like I would go missing, and it would be a long time before anyone even realized I'm missing because I go out of service, right? Because I'm with tribes. There's no phone service, and then 2, like no one would even know where to start looking. Yeah.
No clue. That doesn't ever just...
No.
Good. Shouldn't.
I mean, try and fucking take me. Like, I dare you. And see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
valid.
I also think, like, say human traffickers that are kidnapping women to sell them wherever in these countries. I also think they look at me and they're like, this one's trouble. Like,
That's
I
gonna
don't
be a
want the
fight.
headache. Like, they go for meek, quiet looking
sure.
girls that they know they can control, that they know, you know what I mean? I'm like fully blasted in tattoos. I'm just confident. I'm doing my thing. Like, I don't think human traffickers look at me as
As a
like,
target.
this is going to be an easy one. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, I feel pretty, there's other things that could go wrong, but stuff
sure.
like that, I'm like, yeah,
So you
they don't want this headache.
I could see that point. Yeah, 100%. I mean, they see a lot of these, even these guys that are looking for kids, they always look for a role model and how strong the father figure is and who they are. And I'm sure
Right.
that translates to a woman like,
Yeah.
oh, she's going to put up a fight on this one. So, yeah. I get
Yeah.
it.
So then going to this tribe in the Amazon, I ended up hiring that guy that gave me the contact to then come with me to translate.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what's it cost to just randomly hire somebody on the spot to translate?
It's been different in every country.
Okay.
So this one it was like under $2,000 for the whole, this is the whole thing, like going to the tribe, the translator, the everything.
Oh, really?
It was like, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in Indonesia was my favorite tribe. One of my favorites for sure that I've stayed with was like $800, you know? So, and then I've also spent like 10 grand to go to a tribe. So it just totally depends.
All right.
Totally depends. So he was like asking, like, what do you like want to do, you know, because like you're just going to go live with them and figure out whatever. And I'm like, he's like, do you want to go with the woman and plant their stuff and see what they do? I'm like, I do. I was like, but I really want to like hunt and fish and be with the guys. And that's what I'm into. So when we got there, he was kind of saying that to them, and they're like, the tribes guys are looking at me, and a lot of tribes, women are not allowed to hunt. I've had this happen almost every time. So I'll just kind of like bust out my phone, and I always have this big power bank so I can recharge it because there's no power where you are, and I use it for photos and stuff, and just start showing them all my hunting pictures. And next thing you know, the guys, they're all just like, let's go. Like,
Perfect.
the best. They're like, this is awesome. So that's how that one played out. They're just like, fuck yeah, like, let's bring this chick out. And that one, they had this old relic of a shotgun. I don't even know where this thing came from. It had like duct tape around it. It was like, and they had this like bag of shells that were all rusted out, and like, it was terrible. And I think they never use it. Who knows how long they'd had this thing sitting in a bin or where they even got it from. But they're like, oh, you can use a gun here. We'll bring this too. So like we can get more monkeys or whatever. This thing misfired on me like 6 times. Literally 6 times. Really? And then finally one shot went off. I shot a monkey. It falls down. And they're like, shoot another one. I shoot nothing. Like it was brutal. So then they passed me the cervatana, which is the blow dart.
Okay.
It's like, God, it's like 15 feet long, this big long thing. So you can't like hold it straight.
Okay.
So we had
like
gotten under this.
Straight up?
Yeah, so we got underneath like a monkey that was up in a tree, and the guy that's from the tribe was shooting at it, kept missing, whatever. And it almost got to like a fun game. They're all taking turns and stuff. And then they look at me and they're like, do you want to try? I'm like, okay, like, I don't know, sure. And these guys have been doing this since they were like 3 years old, and they're missing, right? So they pass it to me. I get under, I line up, I blow, and like when they blow, you hear like a kind of sound. When I did it, nothing happened. I'm like, oh, I didn't even blow hard enough. Like the dart's still in there. And all of a sudden the guy's like, oh my God, he's like grabbing me and he's like shaking me and smiling. I guess I hit the monkey. The dart was still inside the cervatana. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even get the dart out, but I actually hit the thing. Obviously, you're not trying to like puncture it and kill it. You're just trying to scratch it. There's poison on the end. So we dig up these roots, mash it all up, and just kind of paint the tips with like a poison. So the poison is what immobilizes the animal, and then you have to get it and dispatch it. But yeah, so that was like blow darting my monkey.
You blow darted.
Guess what?
A monkey in the tree. How incredible was that experience?
It was honestly like so awesome. I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I'd heard about this before from Steven Ranella. Had done it. And I remember him talking about it. I'm like, that's so cool. I want to do that one day. And then it just like played out. And here I am in the Amazon blow darting a monkey. I was like, this is just the fucking coolest. Like, it's one thing to be a hunter and like, you know, rifle hunt and bow hunt and all this stuff. But to use these primitive, like, and my first time and my first shot, and the guys that have been doing it their whole lives are missing.
Depend on this.
You know,
how long did it take for the poison to kick in on the monkey?
It's pretty instant.
Really?
So now so what happens? It gets them kind of like drunk and immobilized, right? And usually they'll fall out of the tree. Well, this monkey got stuck in the tree.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, what now? All of a sudden, this like guy from the tribe, like I've got videos. This is wild. He just like grabs this vine, like straight out of Tarzan, and just starts shimmying up into the top of the canopy. And this is like way up there. Like these are not low trees. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? And he just flies up there with total ease, like a monkey would itself.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I hear the monkey like screaming at him, and he's screaming back at it. And it's just like screaming at each other. And I'm like, what is going on right now? And this guy's screaming at the monkey, and the monkey's screaming at him. I'm picturing it like jumping on him. Like, I don't know what's happening up there because he's up at the top of the tree. Like he went way past the canopy. And I was like, what the fuck is like, what is this life? And then all of a sudden, there comes the monkey, falls down.
And then what? Okay, so now that you've got this monkey on the ground, okay, you slit the throat, and now this is lunch or dinner?
This is dinner. Yeah.
Are you excited for this, or are you kind of like, okay, I'm in it?
No, I was excited. Okay. I wanted to see like what's this about. You know, like there's nothing that I don't think there's any animal I wouldn't try. I wouldn't want to eat a dog, but
I've had dog.
I wouldn't want to eat it.
It was horrible.
Yeah, I just feel bad, but. Yeah, no, I was actually pretty excited. And so what was really cool too was then we went back, to the tribe, and we go into this, one of the head guys, like kind of hut.
Yeah.
And they just give it to me, and they're like, yeah, you process it all. And I was like, okay. So this was the weird part for me. Like, I don't think I'd ever shot an animal in my life or dispatched any animal that I didn't gut right away and skin and cool down the meat. Well, there's this fire, and they just throw the whole monkey right on the fire, guts in and everything. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, this is weird. But so we were burning the fur off.
What did that smell like?
But it's right in, I don't know. It didn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah. So they give me this like little stick, and I've got the monkey in the fire, and you just put it for like a minute on one side and then flip it over and take the stick and like rub it on the skin to scrape the fur off. I've since done that in other tribes in other countries too. So I guess it's more common than, but just being from North America and how we hunt, you just don't realize. And I'm just thinking the whole time, like these guts are in here. Like this is disgusting. I'm like, well, I don't know what we're doing after this, but okay, let's get the fur off. So it's back and forth, do that forever. Once all the fur is off, then we go outside, and they hand me a machete, and they're just like, chop it up. So I'm like, okay. And one of the wives came out. So it was the two of us. And we pull the guts out, warm, and like this thing's cooking. I'm just like, oh man, this is weird, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just hack it up into little pieces, and then throw it all in a pot with water and throw it back on the fire, and made monkey soup.
How did it taste?
So the like inside meat, was good. It was actually good. I was like, this is good. It's just like meat.
Mm-hmm.
The outside, the skin.
The charred skin with hair.
Right, well, it's not charred once it's been boiled, and it's like rubber. You know what I mean? Like this rubbery skin that's been boiled. I was like, I had to choke that down. And then the tail, when I ate the tail, that we just like cut up like, every inch, put like a cut through the tail and rubbed salt in it, and then just charred that right on the fire and ate that charred. And that just tasted like straight char. I was like, is there even any meat in here? Like, what am I eating? Yeah. But like some of it was really good, but that rubbery skin was fucking nasty. And I think it's a mental game too. Like, I know this is the skin, and I'm just, normally I would skin an animal and then eat the meat. So
it's like eating tripe or whatever, the
I don't mind all that, even all that stuff. Like I go for fun, I get all the weird. Stuff.
Oh yeah, that's how we are. But just knowing, it's a little unsettling. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten on the road?
So with the tribe in Indonesia, we were cutting down these trees to pull all the grub out. Literally like out of The Lion King, where they're like slimy yet satisfying, and it's the exact same bug, and it's this big gross grub and they're all crawling
They
around.
have
And
giant pinchers and heads on them.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm just eating them out of this tree and I don't want to, but like they're doing it. And so I don't want to disrespect them by like, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, fucking put your big girl pants on. Let's go. Yeah.
What did those taste like? Woody?
Honestly, they actually weren't that bad. They were pretty sweet because the trees are kind of decaying that they're in.
Yeah.
And the trees smell really sweet and they just kind of tasted like that. But it's like the mental part. And they're
the pop.
like explodes in your mouth and you can like feel the little head and the pin is just like ugh. Yeah. Another thing in the Amazon that was super cool.
Only reason I laugh because I was that guy, and like when I traveled in the military, I was the guy that ate everything. So that's the only reason I asked. That's why the head was always the weirdest because it's crunchy
it's the crunchy part.
The pop. Yeah, so I'm with you.
I know. I should have just like twisted the head off or something, but I just go with whatever they're doing, which is funny because I've noticed there's things that I put up with and live with and whatever when I'm out there that I would never do at home. If I saw a cockroach in my house at home, I'd burn the house down, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I'm out there at this tribe, literally have 50 cockroaches running over me and on my bed and everything. And I'm just like, whatever. Like I'm in the Amazon, just go to sleep.
You have to, though. You have to take that mindset going into it because one, it's a huge disrespect to a lot of cultures if you're coming in trying to not just accept the way of their life, but then at the same time, like you're there to experience their life, and I feel
in the Amazon, like, what do I think it's going to be? The Ritz-Carlton, like
I think a lot of people do though because they see the Netflix series or National Geographic. Because then you go into these places and you're like, these living conditions are horrible. You're like, well, what were you expecting?
Some of the places I've stayed.
Oh yeah.
But another really fun one in the Amazon. So we're out fishing. And we're fishing for catfish and piranhas. Okay. So there's tons of piranhas out there. And we're like in this kind of like lagoon. We'd gone down the river and into this lagoon where they said this is where the piranhas are. So I've got like some meat on the end of this. And there's no fishing rods or anything. It's just like the line and you're hand bombing. And I had said previously that I wanted to catch an anaconda while I was there because they do that all the time. So I've got the line in the water and we're catching piranhas. And all of a sudden the guy's like, there's the anaconda, get it. And I'm like, in this, like, he's like, get it. And I just jump, like, drop the line, and I just jump on this anaconda and grab it by the head in the water that I'm fishing piranhas out of. And I'm just thinking, like, there's so many things going through my head right now. I'm like, first of all, I got to get this anaconda before it gets me. Second of all, I got to get the fuck out of this water before the piranhas eat me.
Do you have pictures of this?
No, I have pictures of me fishing the piranhas. I have pictures of me holding the anaconda after. Yeah. I don't have like...
Yeah.
I know. I wish I had someone that would just follow me to videotape this stuff. Because like, for sure. I wish I could like look back on these things through a third eye. So yeah, I caught an anaconda in the Amazon River in the lagoon of piranhas. And the guys were just kind of like... oh, if there's no blood, the piranhas don't attack.
Yeah.
But like mentally in your head, like
it's like, full of piranhas.
Yeah. So that was pretty wild.
Did you eat the anaconda?
No. The anacondas are very sacred. Boas.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll eat the anacondas if they don't have anything else, but the anacondas, the jaguars, and the harpy eagles, through I think all the tribes in the Amazon, are like the spiritual gods. For sure. Yeah. Harpy eagle. What a cool animal to see.
Is it?
Like the coolest animal I think I've ever seen.
Why?
It's like, it's an eagle, but the head, it like looks like an owl almost. They're just, no wonder these guys are all tripping out on ayahuasca or whatever in these bushes and seeing beings, because this looks almost like a human with this headdress and this outfit on. They're just phenomenal animals. Yeah.
Oh, really? I'm gonna have to. I know what you're talking about, but I feel like it's been forever. They're a large bird, right?
Like, holy shit! Like you just don't. It's not unlike anything you've seen before.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, they're cool.
Let's talk ayahuasca. I have my doubts. I have a lot of buddies that have done this. I want to do it so bad.
You should.
But at the same time, I feel that there's a demonic spirit side of it.
No, there's not. There really isn't. Like, yeah, it can show you things you don't want to see. but it's not going to show you anything that's not real.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's just you facing your own demons.
Okay. Walk me through your ceremony, the ayahuasca ceremony in the rainforest.
So before this, I'll tell you, I started to trip out. I'm not a person. I'm not anxious. I do not have anxiety, clearly. Nothing scares me. I'm just like, go do everything. And leading up to going there, I started to kind of spin out. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? Because everything you read about ayahuasca and learn about is it shows you traumas and this and that so you can work through it. And I'm like, I've done the work. I have relived my traumas. I don't need to see this shit again. Why am I going to go sign up to be back in Mexico, to be back in all these situations, like, and torture myself, So I started to kind of think like, fuck, like I fucked up. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't go, blah, blah, blah. And I had also recently gotten into breath work.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know much about breath work, but if you do really intense, like hour and a half, 2 hour heavy breath work sessions, you actually create a DMT in your body and you have the same experience as like ayahuasca or heavy psilocybin dose. And people use it with healing. Like I've been in breathwork seminars where I come out and half the people are crying and they've relived traumas and they're dealing with stuff and they use it to heal without ever taking a substance. So I had never gone to the other realm in breathwork. I was still kind of like new at it. And 3 days before getting on the plane, I went to a breathwork session and I went shot full outer body, full other realm experience. And I had seen this like soft, it was all black, totally black. I'm like floating in space. And I saw this like kind of like pink soft thing in the distance and I couldn't figure out what it was. And as I got closer, I kind of made the shape of like a moth, but the edges were really light and just disintegrated. It wasn't hard. I didn't know what it meant when I came back into my body, but I had the most calm feeling of like all the anxiety was gone. Everything just felt right. Like everything just, I hate to say this, almost that feeling of that heroin gives you, like this warmth that's come over your body.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, everything's good. Everything's going to be okay. So then I started kind of dissecting that ChatGPT. What does a light pink moth mean and all this stuff?
Okay.
And it broke down into this whole thing about moths, obviously chrysalis transformation. The fact that the edges were soft and it was pink is like transformation doesn't have to be hard. It can be gentle. It can be soft. It can be feminine. It was this whole message that like this journey is going to be gentle and soft and feminine and just peaceful.
Yeah.
And it just took all my anxiety away. So I'm like, okay, let's go. Peru, ayahuasca,
So real quick, my question with the breath work. I've done it before. I've done it with some buddies, but I've never gone. I really, it was just whatever. I was super relaxed and I mean, like felt great afterward, but I never went to a different realm.
Yeah.
Sounds like obviously the previous experiences, I don't know if you fight it or you just don't fall into it. When you started to feel your body go, did you know, or is it just like a snap?
I did. It was
So you're sitting there, you're doing the routine, and then boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
I'm sitting there, I'm breathing, I'm like listening to the room. And then all of a sudden I'm just like floating in this like black space. And I'm like, fuck, did I fall asleep? I was like, you fucking idiot, you're sleeping right now. Like, wake up, like you're in breath work. And then I got this energy pulses going through my body. It's like this vroom, vroom, vroom pulsing, which I had done DMT back when I was doing drugs all the time in my 20s and had that same feeling when I did DMT and I recognized it instantly. I'm like, fuck, you're not sleeping. I'm like, oh my God, you're there. Like you're going. Like I was like, okay, this is real. This is it.
Happening.
Yeah. But it was just instant.
Okay.
Instant. Yeah.
So now you're ready for ayahuasca. You've done your breath work.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm going to the rainforest. I'm going to do a legit ayahuasca trip.
Yeah, so I did a lot of research, me and my brain, ahead of time on even finding the right facility. Because, of course, you go somewhere like South America, a lot of them are just trying to make a buck off tourists, right? And you have to be careful with things like ayahuasca or anything that's bringing up inner work, because you don't want to go somewhere that cracks you open and then doesn't help put you back together. And then you leave and you're just messed up and, you know. So especially I found like one of the most notoriable facilities in the world, right? And definitely like in the top, I found the top 3 in Peru and picked one of those. So I made sure it was legit and safe and everything too, not just like, oh, whichever one's cheapest kind of thing.
Pay for what you get.
And they actually have 2 locations. One is out by Machu Picchu, which is much easier to get to. And I was going to Machu Picchu anyways. And then the other one is way out in Iquitos in the Amazon. But I wanted to go to the Amazon for that because it's also the birthplace of ayahuasca. Like ayahuasca comes from the Amazon in Peru originally. And I was with the Shipibo shamans, which the Shipibo shamans like discovered ayahuasca and have been using it to heal for 3,000 years. And they trained for like 20, 30 years to be a shaman. And so it was all super legit and safe. But yeah, the experience was not what I thought it was going to be. So here I was like worried. I'm like, great, I'm going to relive all this shit, like rehash this stuff. What's the point in any of that? And mine was like the total opposite, which I had felt guilty about because everyone else there was 18 of us. They were going through it. Like, they were like,
so
just these traumas that they were living, internal battles. I mean, there was like one girl who had been sexually abused by her dad and went through that, but then it took her even further into watching through the window when her dad was a child and his dad was abusing him and actually seeing that like through the window. And you go through like generational traumas and all kinds of stuff, you know, but which then kind of helped her realize, I mean, there's never an excuse, but why he was doing that to her and through the healing and all that stuff.
Hurt people.
So yeah, and people are just screaming, crying, the purging, you know, people are puking, shitting themselves, whatever. Like my purge was like a little yawn. Like that was my purge. I just like curled up in my little blanket and like melted into the floor. And ayahuasca showed me the most beautiful, like divine love I'd ever seen in my life. She was like, you've never experienced love. And she just took me into this place and wrapped me in this blanket of real, true love. And that was just so she's like, this is what you need. Like, you don't need to relive all that stuff. You've done it. This is what you need. And that was like my whole experience was just her showing me this is what's possible. This is what you're ready for because you've healed. It was like,
that's interesting because I've done a lot of research. I've talked to a lot. I've talked to my buddy flies in a shaman here, and they're doing it almost like every other month about. And I've had conversations, and I was like, okay, these are my demons, X, Y, and Z. These are the traumas, X, Y, and Z. This is what I want to face. And he's like, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. And you can set intentions, but they always say she shows you what you need, not what you want.
She as in Mother God. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So she gives you what you need, not what you want. So people come there like, there was a girl that was there that was thinking about quitting her job and moving to Costa Rica to start a business. And she's like, I just need the answers. Should I do it? So people are coming with like wanting answers, but that's just not
unlocking childhood trauma instead.
Yeah. Well, people know that that's going to happen too, right? But they're also hoping through it because I was there for a week or 5 days and we did 4 nights of ayahuasca. It wasn't just one. So we had 2 nights of ayahuasca, 1 break, and then 2 nights of ayahuasca. So I like, you go through it because night 1 is just kind of like it's starting to work through your system. Night 2, it fucking cracks you wide open. But then they use night 3 and 4 to start healing and putting you back together, right? Instead of just giving you 1 night of ayahuasca, all this shit comes up and they kick you out the door. Like, how does that help anyone? Right. So
does the purging, and if people listening are familiar with this ceremony, I don't know how you categorize it, but when you're on it, you purge.
Yeah.
I wish the only episode we've never been able to air due to the respect of a guest, She got into this story. It's actually one of the craziest episodes I've ever recorded in my life. Like I've never been
talking about this.
I've never been speechless before. And this from the second this woman opened her mouth, didn't know what to say. But she talked about her purge, that she regurgitated a set of testicles because she, and I'm not trying to laugh about this. It's just I wish I could fucking air this episode. It was incredible. But she said because she had so much childhood trauma from being sexually assaulted as a baby all the way through like her teen years. Like she had a whole childhood of sexual, that she regurgitated a legit set of testicles that plopped out onto the floor or bucket, however she was explaining it. And I was sitting there like blink, blink, blink. I didn't even know. And then that was like my first story or like digging into somebody that's done this. So I didn't even know what she was talking about. But then obviously I've done a lot of research. I have buddies that are deep into this, and it's this, I don't know how to explain it. So you never threw up, you never was like shitting
so it's interesting at the proper way through ayahuasca with the shaman. So this is an interesting fact about ayahuasca.
Okay.
Up until about 15 years ago, the subject, like the person needing healing, never took ayahuasca. Only the shamans would take ayahuasca, and then they sing these icaros, these songs the whole time, and they would heal you through the icaros, and the icaros goes into you and does all this stuff, and you would experience the same thing, relive the traumas, everything through the icaros, and that's how they healed. It's only been recently that the patients have been taking ayahuasca.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes. And so when I was there was 6 shamans in the room, and they're all singing these icaros the whole time,
which is incredible.
And then when it comes, really incredible.
Are they playing flutes or anything?
They're singing. They're just the voices are singing,
which is unreal.
and they're each singing a completely different song from each other, not in tune at all, but somehow all together is just like it works. It's amazing. And then at the very end, when it's over, one of the shamans will sing a closing icaros, and that's because you're very energetically open when you're under ayahuasca, and so that just kind of like is supposed to close it out and close your energy and like kind of end the experience. And every night, the second he did the last note of that song, all of a sudden I'd puke. That's when the purge would come up at the end. It was all over, closed, just one quick like, it's over. There it goes. It was really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
So I remember feeling really guilty in group share the next day, because everyone would share their experiences, and this person's like, I went through this. And then I'm just like waiting for it to come to me to be like, oh, that was the best love I've ever felt. Like, I never felt pure love other than with my son, right? It's the only person that had ever loved me with pure intention, right? And so that gets to me, and I'm like sharing, and I'm like feeling really guilty, and this other girl started crying. And when I was done, she's like, thank you so much for sharing that. And I was like, what? Why? She's like, well, because it gives me hope that I can get there one day too. And I was like, okay, like, that's good. And there's some other things that came up. Like, I know I have this control in me that I need to try to like let go of a little bit, but I just can't, because I've always had to be in control because of all these other things in my life and little things that that I need to work on that I learned through the ayahuasca. But for me, overall, it was a very beautiful. I mean, even the people that were going through it at the end, they were like, that was the most beautiful week of my life. Even though they went through this shit, no one was like, that was terrible, I don't want to do it again, or
Would you do it again?
Absolutely, yeah.
Really?
I'm going to, yeah.
You're going to go back to the same place?
Maybe. I haven't decided yet, but there's just some other stuff. So I went to a hypnotherapist a few days ago.
Here?
No,
or before you
the
came
day
down?
before I flew down here. And some stuff came up in there. So when I was in Peru, you kind of like bond with people when you're there, right? So I had these like the facility I was in was called Arcana. So I had my 2 Arcana brothers that like the 3 of us became like, we just did everything together, ate together, shared our experience together, leaned on each other through the whole thing. And one of them, he had done past life regression hypnotherapy. And another guy there had done it also, and they were talking about it. I'm like, this sounds so cool. So this is like hypnotherapy where you then go into your past lives and you're in the body. You're not watching from inside. You're in your body, in your past life, and you're like seeing these things and whatever and walking through. So like the guy that, my friend from Arcana, like he went all the way back to when he was a caveman, and he was like, man, I was like looking down at my hands and there were like these big mitts, and I looked at my feet and I go to walk and it's just like these steps. And he's like, my mind was just so empty. Like there was no thoughts. There was nothing there. And he's like, and then like something was coming, like a saber-toothed tiger. I don't know, something that was just like, danger, move, and just like move behind the rock. Like, no, this like
very primitive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? And then this other guy was in this other. So I was like, this is cool. Like I'd give this a try. And when I signed up to do it, it took like 3 months to get in with this hypnotherapist that does it. Yeah. She had said to me, she said, yeah, this will be great, blah, blah, blah. Just so you know, if there's anything in this life that hasn't been worked through yet or whatever, like
Resolved.
You'll have to work through that first to be able to get into the past lives. I'm like, oh, I've done my shit. I even ayahuasca, everything was cool.
Nope.
So we unpacked some things. I don't know what it is yet. We couldn't figure it out, but basically at 5 years old, I just stopped and I can't go back any further. It just stops.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
And I know, like I've always known there's got to be like something in there because no one doesn't have a memory before the age of 12. That's another trauma response, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know there's something in there, but and it doesn't bother me or scare me. Trust me, whatever happened to me as a kid, I have been through 10 times worse since then and been able to deal with. So like, let's just hash it out and deal with it and move on, right?
I mean, you're a very intelligent person, so you've read or researched how the mind splits through traumatic incidents. Do you think you hit that wall where your mind? Do you think possibly at age 5 your mind split?
Or maybe a couple times. I don't know because I can't remember before 12,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
But anyway, so an interesting thing on night 3 of the ayahuasca, I never went to the other realm. I was in the room the whole time. And the whole night I just felt this like black squirming something going through my body, like this like wormy sickness, gut rot, kind of like just working through me the whole time.
After or during?
No, this was when I was on night 3 of ayahuasca and through.
Okay.
And I remember describing it as like this black, just something that wouldn't let go. And I interpreted that as my control because I kept saying, just surrender, trust the process, surrender to the ayahuasca. And then this like kind of thing was coming in and I was like fighting it. And so I just took that as like, this was your control and ayahuasca wasn't going to let you go until you surrendered, but you wouldn't surrender because you're fighting it because you're always in control. And that was just kind of how, and that lasted 24 hours for me. Like this was in me for 24 hours. Like I went to night 4 ayahuasca 24 hours later and I was still feeling what I thought, feeling the ayahuasca from the night before. I'm like, I'm still under the medicine. Like I can't take more medicine. I was like, feeling this. So in the hypnotherapy, that kind of came up and it went back to 5. And then she's like going to the doors to open up and I'm supposed to open the door and walk into this life. She goes, what do you see? I'm like, nothing, it's blank. So then she goes back, goes this other process, gets me to go into this book and you go, like, what's the story in the book? Where are you? And I go, I'm like, it's blank. And she's like, starting to get like, I'm like, I know I feel like I'm upsetting the poor hypnotherapist because I can't get anywhere. So we go back and it's me. I'm like 5 years old. And I'm seeing this in front of me. And she's like, what's this thing that's blocking you, stopping you? Let's pull it out and look at it. And so we pulled it out and looked at it. And it was this black sticky tar.
Really?
Fuck, that's what was in me in ayahuasca. And she's like, okay, like, what's this tar's job? Like, let's just call it tar. I'm like, okay. And she's like, what's its job? So a 5-year-old me asks, like, what's your job? And it's like, I keep you safe. And she's like, okay, can we find a way that we can keep you safe without stopping you from these things and blah, 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 trying to like work with it and turn it into something else. This is like, now we're in like trauma therapy, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't through the whole session. It just, that's not, I think that brain of mine, that's where I can just stop heroin one day. I can just I'm so strong in my mind, but it comes from 5-year-old me that built this in me. I
really want to know.
Me too.
Yeah,
So,
clearly.
me too. So we ran out of time in the session, right? And
So you're
she
gonna go back?
also does she does trauma clearing. And she's like, okay, well, you can come back and we can clear this. And she goes, you don't even need to know what it is. She goes, we can just clear this trauma and be done with it. And then you can like move on. I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, I want to know what it is. Like, I want to know. Like, I'm not running from this. So that's the next step for me, is figuring this out. And then once that's cleared, I'd really like to go into the medicine again to then see how much deeper I can go, because clearly it was trying to take me somewhere. And this
blockage,
something in me was like, nope, 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 like blocking it.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, I know.
I love these. I love hearing this because everybody's story is so different. There's, like I kind of said a little bit ago, the reason that I'm stuck on it is because when I talk to my buddies and I talk to these people, my problems that I have with it, these are my holdups, why I haven't just leaped in, because I know I need it. On a spiritual side of things, I have a hard time praying or worshiping a ayahuasca god or any other gods besides.
But it's not a god. That's the thing.
Okay.
It's not a god. It's just Mother Ayahuasca is just like an energy that's in everything. It's just a name people put on it. And what else are you going to call it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ayahuasca is just the medicine itself. And the medicine is just you reflecting inwards. There's not like some other thing. Like
I taught, and in conversation with a lot of these guys, they see a lot of serpents. There's a lot of dark portals that I feel it can open up. That's where, especially as me getting back into faith in Christianity and being a baby new Christian all over again and going down that route, which is changing my life in so many ways. Do I want to venture into that? Because where I'm torn, if I'm this Christian, I just need my faith and my Bible. That's supposed to heal all. Do I give it time and I keep going down this journey with my faith and my conversations with God? But it's always there. But then you read and you're in scripture and it's like, okay, it heals. He heals all. Give it all, right? And it's like, okay, if I'm not giving it all to Christ yet, or do I want to go and experience this? And I'm the type of person, I just like to experience things. I want to know. And I've done things before, like I've done breath works, and even people could say that's demonic, and meditating is demonic, freaking yoga's demonic. There's so many different paths you can go down of demonic things, right? And so, but then like I do these breath works and I'm just like, I don't feel shit.
Well, neither did I until that one time.
And that's where I'm like, okay.
All the ones before that, I was like, I don't know.
Well, I have a client.
I just kept going, because I wanted to get there. And I wanted that experience. I just kept trying.
Okay.
And the time I needed it the most.
Hit you.
Where it took me.
I have a client. He's huge on breath work. He's huge. And so that's where I started open, because that's the best part about clients. Like you spend a week with somebody in your truck, and this is literally guiding, for a week. I get somebody stuck in my truck or I'm blind or something for a week. So I get to pick their brain, just really get to learn people. And hearing him talk, and I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, it changed this guy's life, it's going to change mine. Everybody is on a different path. But I love hearing different versions of stuff and how it's healed people, but then I always lean back to Christianity, like, okay,
but
all I need is
they don't have to fight each other. They can complement each other.
But then I talked to a guy like Vic.
Yes. He said that the medicine
brought him closer to God. He said he walked with God.
Yes.
So I'm like, and then you talk to him, it's like, okay, this dude, you'd look at and be like, there's no fucking way. There's no way that this dude's been in prison, in and out of the system for 10 years, shot a dude's been shot twice. The crazy gangbanger life this dude lived, and now you talk to him, he's the most like loving, peaceful man. And I'm like, okay.
And it's all about the medicine.
Then when you get this, and there's another thing that I have a hold up with is like your spiritual animal. Not him. I think a lot of dudes see jaguars and cats and things, but
you said the serpent.
I have buddies that have serpents. They have like these Egyptian pharaoh creature animals.
Cut you off right there. Okay. That's the harpy eagle.
Okay.
And the serpent is the anaconda.
Okay.
And remember, I told you the most spiritual animals in the Amazon are the anaconda, the harpy eagle, and the jaguar.
Okay.
And That's
That makes
where
sense.
ayahuasca is from. It's
Okay.
from Peru, from the Amazon, from the Shipibo shamans. So one of the best things that can happen to you under ayahuasca, that's like almost like a goal for a lot of people, is for the anaconda to eat you, and then you go into it and you become the anaconda. That happened to one of the guys when I was there, and he goes, I was like, I know what it feels like to slither and have my tongue like come out and whatever, and that's just like you're reaching that spiritual whatever. So it's not a bad thing
Okay.
to become the anaconda or the jaguar or the harpy eagle, which looks like Egyptian pharaoh. I told you, it's like an eagle with an owl head.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating to me, and I'm very intrigued by it because I just want to know. I'm one of those. I'm like, I just want to try this shit.
I mean, I went into it, same thing. I was like, I don't even know. Like, I've heard about people going and doing it, and like it can be healing. And I was like scared about having to relive trauma, but I was like, I mean, it's not going to kill me. What's the worst that can happen? You know?
Yeah, I'm with you because I'm one of those where I'm like, that's not gonna work on me. I'm not gonna get hypnotized. I'm not one of those people.
Same thing with me going to the hypnotherapist. I was like, there's no way how strong this mind is. It's not even going to work. And it took a long time. Like, she was like, you're going to count down from 99. And when you get a few numbers in, they're just going to disappear and you're going to feel heavy. I was down at like 70, 60. And she's like looking at me and I'm like, it's not working.
That's breath work. And they're like, hey, breathe, you feel it? I'm like,
yeah,
that's
it's just
good.
funny too, because when I got there, I was telling her about ayahuasca and breath work and these things that I do in these realms I've been to. And she's like, oh man, you do outer body travel. Like, you're going to go on a ride today. This is going to be easy. And then
No.
couldn't get me under, took forever, and then couldn't even get to a past life. Like,
Interesting.
I was just like,
yeah, I'm open for it. And
oh, you should so try it. I'm just so interested to
I guess my biggest thing is, I know what I'm capable of doing in like just not, I don't want to say like violent wise. There's not many people that are going to be able to control me if I'm not in the right mindset. And that scares me. So I want my wife there because she's the only person I feel on this planet that can just poof if there's. So for me to not be in a controllable mindset scares me. That's where
You're not that out of it though.
Okay. Yeah, my buddy says he's
you
having
can
conversations.
control-
He's getting up and going to the
Yeah.
bathroom in it.
Exactly.
And all that stuff. Because I have buddies that take.
I was there with a few vets. There's a few vets there, and one was really going through some stuff. His spot was beside mine.
Yeah.
And I remember on the last night, he was like, or second to last night, when I had the goo going through me, he had something and he was squirming and he kept flopping over onto my bed, kicking me and an arm over here. And like, he was just groaning, and I was just like, I remember like being like, oh man, this poor guy's really going through it. I'm going through it, but this guy's really going through it.
Here's another thing that
you're like, you're safe. And there's facilitators. So there's the six where I was, there was the six shamans, and then there's like a whole bunch of facilitators in there too that have like trained and done the ayahuasca, and they're coming around checking on you and helping you. And then there's the little DMT hospital, we call it, for the people that are really fucking out there, because you don't want that to affect the other people's experience in the room. So they just take them out to their own area, and someone sits with them, and like,
Is it personal when you're laying there with a bunch of people? Do you kind of forget they're there, or is everybody going through this together so you just don't care?
So most of the times you don't even realize they're there. Like, you just go to the other realm. That one time where I didn't, and I was in the room, obviously, then I saw, and other people's energy was I was like kind of picking up on their energies and stuff. But that's kind of like the whole part of it. You're all healing together, and it helps at the same time. So,
Interesting.
yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, so I definitely want to do the medicine again for sure. But I want to clear this
Whatever blockage
because it came up under the medicine. I did. Now I realize that at the time I just thought that was ayahuasca showing me, okay, you're always in control. You need to learn to let go sometimes. But now I realize it's something deeper in me, subconscious, that's
I would love to be able to time travel back and see
past lives.
Right?
I don't like, how cool. I was so stoked on this. I was like telling everybody, I was like, I can't wait. I was like, I've always thought I lived in this era, like, you know. And then when she told me like, oh yeah, you're gonna go on a journey today, like you do ayahuasca, you do breath work, like this is gonna be awesome. I was so stoked. And then I just walked out of there like, fuck. You know, like I didn't go anywhere. I was 5 years old.
I just want to see if I ever fought in like a Roman army, just hacking dudes down.
I
And
want to know. I can't
that's the
wait
stuff I
to
want.
like clear whatever this is and get back in there and just
Yeah.
see some past lives. And even that's super healing for people because there's lessons, right? That just keep going life to life because you're not learning them or you're not getting whatever from it. Or the same way generational trauma works, you can have that in your own past lives of trauma, right? So to be able to go through that and find, repeating patterns or whatever can be so beneficial moving forward in this life, right? Yeah. If it's all real. I mean, who knows? Maybe you're just making it all up in your imagination. I mean, who knows?
If you feel better coming out of it.
Yeah. Like,
what gives a shit?
I know.
Okay. Now that we've covered that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's talk you being on your own. Have you ever had any just scary situations that you either found yourself into? Could have been preventable. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a couple. A big one was this year, this summer in Bolivia. Okay. So I was traveling through South America. I was in Bolivia. I just left the Uyuni salt flats, which mind-blowing. The world's largest mirror, they call it. And I was heading to, I think, Chile, the Chile border. I think. But it's really, really far. It's a really long drive. So I basically just drove for like 5-6 hours through the desert, through like nothing, not one town, not one city, no phone service, nothing. And there's just this like little hotel that's meant for people going along this road. So my driver drops me off. I check in and he takes off. He's probably going 6 hours back to wherever he came from.
Jeez. Okay.
And, so I check in. The guy working at the desk is the only guy working there. And he's like hunchback and like one eye is going this way. And he's like kind of Quasimodo. And I remember like thinking, like, this is like some Hills Have Eyes shit. I was like, literally, I'm in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere with this like probably inbred back hick, like hunchback weirdo. And I remember saying that. I texted a friend because they had Wi-Fi at this hotel. I was like, this is like Hills Have Eyes. I was like, this shit's weird. I was like, whatever, it is what it is. So I eat dinner. He's also the chef. He cooks the dinner. And then I go to my room.
Are you the only one here?
I'm the only one.
In this whole hotel?
Yeah.
Okay. Red flag.
Yeah. And so I like go to my room and I'm just like kind of just getting ready for bed. I'm like, whatever. I got another 6-hour drive the next day. Some driver from the other side is going to come get me and take me to the border. And yeah, like brush my teeth, everything. And I'm like changing. And there's this knock at the door. And I'm like, what does this guy want? So I go and I open the door and I answer. And he like looks at me and he's like, oh, like, was dinner good? I'm like, yeah, dinner was great. And he's like, okay. And he asked something else I don't really remember. And he's kind of like pushing the door a little bit open. And I'm like kind of shooing him out. And he's trying to talk to me. And I'm just kind of like, I'm going to bed. Like, leave me alone. And then he says to me, and he's speaking English. I speak Spanish, so South America is easy for me to travel around, but from being in Mexico. But he speaks in English, and he goes, well, if you'd like company with you overnight tonight, I'm available.
This is this Quasimodo looking dude?
Quasimodo looking dude. I'm like, first of all, what makes you think whatever, guys are guys. Yeah. They all think they're special.
We're not?
Right. Anyways, and so I'm like, no, I'm good, and I go to like close the door and he like puts his hand on the door and like opens it again. And he's like, are you sure? Like, I'm just here. I'm at the whatever. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm good. And I like slam the door, lock it. Text a friend. I told them like what happened. I'm like, that's fucked up. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then I'm like sitting there thinking in that moment, I was like, man, I'm all the way out here in the middle of nowhere. My only lifeline is Wi-Fi. I was like, could you imagine if this guy shut the Wi-Fi off or something? I have no way to contact anyone. I'm like, oh, well, whatever. Maybe he just is lonely out here and meant like, if you want to hang out or have a coffee. Even like, I knew that's not what he meant, but you convince yourself of things so I can go to bed and go to sleep, right?
Yeah, a little peace of mind.
Yeah. So I go to bed and I go to sleep. I've been sleeping, it's, 4 hours, maybe 3 hours at this point. And all of a sudden I hear fucking knock, 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 knock at the door. And I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? Knock, 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 knock. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pretend I'm sleeping. Because if this guy's just trying to hang out and talk or make conversation, like once he knows I'm sleeping, he's going to fuck off, right? So I just like lay there and I grab my phone and I text a friend from back home. And I was like, dude, this guy's knocking at my door again. And he's like, yell at him, like say something. I'm like, no, I'm just going to like pretend I'm sleeping. So he goes away. Because I'm like, he's just looking for someone to hang out with. This goes on for 11 minutes.
Really?
I've looked from the first text to like that's 11 minutes. He's sitting there knocking on my door. And I'm just staying quiet because I'm just like, I just want this guy. It's like 1 a.m.
Okay.
I hear the key go in the door.
No.
Yes.
Are you shitting at this point?
Tink, 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 turn. And I fucking like slam my hand on the headboard like 3 times and yell and flick the light on. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And I hit video call I was on WhatsApp to who I'm with so that like they can hear and see everything going on instantly, like all at the same time. And the guy's like, oh, sorry. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like screaming through the door. And he's talking through the door and he's like, oh, yeah. So he goes, oh, I was like, why are you at my door? And he's like, oh, I just wanted to apologize for the comment I made earlier. And I'm thinking like, apologize. You just tried coming into my room with the fucking key. Like, you were not coming in here to apologize for shit. My heart is like pounding through my, like in my throat. Adrenaline is just going. I'm like,
there's no secondary lock on the door.
No,
just that he has a key to.
Nothing. And I'm like looking around the room. There's no lamp. There's no side table. This is like a ghetto shitty, there's literally not one thing that I could grab or use.
No weapons.
But there was like there's like these big rock outcrops there and the hotel's built around it. So part of the wall was rock. So I was just thinking, if this guy opens the door, I'm fucking smashing his fucking head into this rock wall until his brains are everywhere. That was just like the only thing I could think of, right? There's nothing that I could grab of anything. And like, it wasn't so much like fear because like, I mean, I'd fuck this guy up. And I know that, especially in a fight or flight type thing, but just still being in the situation and the adrenaline and like everything, like I'm shaking. I can't even like hold my hand still. My heart's in my ears, just everything. And so there was this one little like particle board bench thing. That's all there was. But if I had used it to hit him, it would just smash into a million pieces. But I took that and I jammed it up under the door handle so that if he did try to come in, it would like prevent the door from opening. That's all I could do. So I jammed that up. I'm on FaceTime with my friend back home in Canada. And I'm just like, I'm wide awake. I hear this guy outside shuffling around still. He's not leaving. So now I'm on like high alert. Like this guy still wants to come in.
There's
He's
no
waiting
people
for me.
or
there's no
way you could. So you're not. Is there a window that you can creep out of?
There's a big window. So I'm in bed. The door's on my right, and there's a big window to outside on the left. But that's it. And then the bathroom, and I had the bathroom door closed. And then I start thinking the bathroom shower had one of those little shower windows that was open, and I'm starting to like think like, oh fuck, like what if he tries to come in through that or whatever. And I'm just like, all these scenarios are going through my head. So right away, the best thing I did was FaceTime someone, so at least someone knows the situation I'm in. Then I hear him shuffling, around outside and whatever. So I contact the company that had dropped me off. They have like a 24-hour line or whatever. And I'm like telling them what's going on. And they're like, oh shit, okay, we're going to send someone out to come check on you. So I'm like, okay, like.
But they're 6 hours away.
I know. But at least I know someone's coming. They never sent anyone. No one came, by the way. I hear him shuffling around outside the door for like an hour. And I'm like, he's like waiting for me to fall asleep or something. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what do and I can't go anywhere. And then I'm really thinking, what if he shuts the Wi-Fi off? Because like he can hear that I'm FaceTiming someone. So he knows that I'm on the phone with someone. Then it finally stops. And like my heart rate's just starting to go down. I'm just kind of starting to, and then I hear him outside the window. He's like gone around to the outside. Now he's outside the window. And I'm just like, this went on like all night.
So you didn't go back to sleep?
No, I didn't sleep once that night. And he was just shuffling around my room all fucking night until my driver that I had booked to get me came and got me.
What time in the morning did they show up?
7 a.m.
Okay, well, this wasn't like noon.
But still,
Yeah.
that like those
It was a long
hours
8
were,
hours or so.
like, yeah. So that was a bad one, and I like obviously reported it to the hotel owners, and they said they fired him right away and whatever. But you always wonder, like, what if he'd gotten in the room, or
For sure.
what were his intentions, and then I'm thinking, like, oh man, now I'm gonna have some like murder beef in Bolivia. Like I'm the white tourist. Like I'm gonna be in Bolivian jail, like locked up forever.
Killing
like,
some local
for
national.
killing some fucking inbred little Quasimodo dude. Like, like fuck, great.
I'm taking those chances.
The things that are going through my head in this situation, but I'm like, what's my other option? I can't even like run out of there because I'm running into a desert. I'll freeze to death, or like, like there's nothing there.
You were trapped.
I was trapped.
That's a
Fully trapped.
shitty situation to be in.
And I know most girls after that would book a flight home. And I just continued on. I went into this big canyon that day, and went to Chile and went to wine tasting that night. And like, I don't know. I mean, it sucked, but I wasn't going to let it stop me.
For sure. But damn.
Yeah.
All night. It's almost torture at that point. Like he's toying with you because now that you're peaked and you're hearing everything, every noise is immediate.
That adrenaline, that your senses are so heightened,
and there's no coming down. And then when you do, and you hear it again, like, yeah, it's a horrible, especially when it lasts all night, and you're just wired. Did you sleep that 6 hours after he picked you up? Did you pass out for your next ride?
No.
Damn.
No.
For as much traveling as you have been through, is that the worst, like the scariest thing that you've been in?
I would say so. Like,
it's not bad.
There's definitely been other things. Like I was drugged and raped in Thailand. Other things, like, yeah, there's been other things.
Blow over that, if you're
that's
cool with
fine.
it.
Yeah,
you just
a long time ago. There's been other things, but this one was so bad. So that I think almost getting raped was worse than it actually happening. That's probably just the way my brain processes things.
And if you mind me asking, how did you get drugged and raped in Thailand?
So I went to a half moon party.
Okay. Which is what exactly?
So on the island of Koh Phangan in Thailand, they have these like full moon parties, half moon parties, black moon parties. They're just like parties on the beach. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are doing like mushrooms and stuff like that, like mushroom shakes. So I got a mushroom shake, but I don't know what else was in it. Yeah. And I woke up. So I don't even like remember any of it. I just remember being on the beach and drinking this shake. And then the next day I woke up, I was on like the front step of someone's bungalow, completely naked. I was stabbed in the back. So I have a big scar there. And yeah, and I had no clothes, no money, like no nothing. I was just like left naked on the front step of this person's bungalow. And the guy living in the bungalow came out and like found me and like woke me up and took a bed sheet and like wrapped me up, and I had to like find my way back to where I was staying and go to the hospital and do a report and rape kit and all that stuff. Yeah. Not the first or last time either. Yeah. So
you're a strong-willed woman.
I kind of have to be.
Yeah.
Kind of have to be.
Stabbed?
Yeah.
I would have thought they probably took my kidneys or something. I feel like
I know. I don't know with what or like, but I had to get all these stitches and like I can't remember any of it, right? I just
I'm at God, that is terrifying.
Yeah.
You are a strong-willed woman. You have been through some shit.
And I had my son with me. So he was back at I had got like the lady, I had rented a place for a few months. I was living on the island, traveling with him. And so there's like all these bungalows, right?
Yeah.
And so the lady that ran it had all these kids and stuff. And so she was like, oh yeah, like I'll watch him. You go out. And I was just going to be gone for a few hours and come back. Well, it's now the next morning.
Damn.
And I'm waking up on this thing. My son was like 3 or 4 at the time. So I'm like trying to deal with this and take care of him and like keep traveling with him. Yeah.
Wow. That's a that is a situation to find yourself in.
Yeah, I guess. It's so weird that I'm just like, meh, I don't know. Like, shit
Do you
happens.
think a lot of that comes from your childhood where you just blow things off? Because
Maybe.
I'm not
Or maybe after so many bad things happening, it's like,
numb to it.
yeah, it's like shit happens, you know?
Yeah, that's not normal though.
Like they can't all be this super traumatic event. It's just like fucking, you know, shit happens.
I don't know how to unpack that though.
Yeah, I don't need
Like hearing that, you know, it's because
someone else told me a couple of days ago that's not normal either.
No.
Like, you know, that's not normal, right? I'm like, I don't know. Like,
because if you were my daughter sitting here, I would be like, no, like
but
we're
it
not.
also wasn't the first time that it happened either. So like, you can only be sexually assaulted so many times. And when it happens again, you're just like, whatever, you know? Like,
No,
no, of course you don't know.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's normal either to be able to accept it. So I'm not saying you're
not.
accepting it easily, but is it?
Even at the time, it was like, whatever. Went to the hospital, dealt with it, moved on. Like, what else are you going to do? Cry about it for a month? No.
Yeah.
Strong mind. Okay, that happened. Next. Yeah. Who knows? We'll see what I unpack from 5-year-old me.
Fucking A, right?
Yeah, where this wall comes from. This strong. That's what it is. That my ability to do that. That's where it started. That's what we unpacked. That's where that comes from.
Is there a part of you that's scared to break that wall down?
No, not at all.
You're looking for it?
Not scared at all. Because whatever, even if it's okay, I was sexually assaulted at 5 or whatever it was that happened, I've dealt with all that later in life. So like, that's not going to break me apart and break my self-identity. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what it is, I know I can handle it.
For sure.
You know, like I've been through the worst. So I'm not scared of it. But the thing that's weird is that hypnotherapist was telling me, she was like, your subconscious is telling you you're not strong enough to handle this, and that's why it's blocking it. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, look at everything I've been through. There's no way I'm not strong enough to handle whatever this is. Like, it's literally impossible. Like, there's nothing anyone could do to me or anything that I could learn or whatever that's gonna rock or shake me. You know,
I see your point for sure.
And she's like, no, your subconscious really does not believe you can handle it. So the only thing that I'm a little about isn't what, but who, because that could shake me. Whatever it is, who knows, right? Like, that's the only thing that makes me wonder, like, is this why it's been blocked and why I'm so headstrong, why I block all these things? I don't know. Who knows? It could just be, I got yelled at really bad one time and it traumatized me and I froze up and put walls up, right? Kids build walls for all kinds of reasons. So who knows, right? That's the only thing that I'm a little like, ugh, scares me a little bit of unpacking it. If it is something really bad that my subconscious thinks is so bad, I can't handle it. I know it's not a what. I know it's a who.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Are you scared of finding out who,
no.
Do you think, no?
No.
I don't know how to ask, but
I want to know.
Are there any...
Like, do I have an inkling? No. No. I mean, immediate family, for sure. Other than that, I don't know. But that's just like speculation, like I said.
Yeah.
It could just be little kids are traumatized from, just being yelled at or, you know, like, and they put up a block and it's just so strong, it's gone all the way through. It's no way to know until I go. But that's when she was like, we can do trauma clearing and you don't need to know what it was. I was like, no, fuck that. I want to know. Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
When
I talk to people, they're like, I don't want to know. That, to me, and this is just me, how that mind works, that terrifies me.
Yeah, because you're going through like blind, just like following whatever, like, no way.
Whatever fate takes you, but knowing you have this shit in you and you're like, oh, I don't want to know. No, I'm good with my life I live now. But obviously that is compounding your whole entire life to the problems that you're facing now. I'm the type of person like, dude, let's get this out of me.
Yeah.
I'll want to face it. Let's move on. I don't.
It's like, so, I don't know. Even if it is, I just don't know what could be so bad that my subconscious is like, you can't handle it. You know, I don't remember much, so I can't say either way, but my grandpa on my mom's side is a pedophile, like known pedophile. I'm not going to say how I know or whatever, that's someone else's story, but brutal pedophile. And when I was like, I don't know how old, 7, 8, 9, something like that, my parents sent me to stay with him for the summer. And again, I don't have much memory before the age of 12. I do have one memory. He took me fishing in the morning, and I met one of his friends at some diner. It's like 5 a.m., pitch black out. We're at this diner, and I remember sitting there, and he had his hand on my leg and was like rubbing my leg. I can remember
friend or your grandpa?
My grandpa. It's like a flash memory. And then I guess the three of us went fishing for the day, or that's what we were supposed to do. I don't know, but that's all I remember from that. The fact that my parents would send me out there to live with them.
They might not have known then.
They
knew?
Very well knew. Yes. Yeah.
It blows my mind that you even communicate. And I'm not saying to cut your...
From like everyone.
Yeah, it's very, very fascinating to me. You have 1,000 reasons.
I know one of my biggest faults. It's funny. Someone like recently said to me, like, "Oh, what's been like your biggest downfall in relationships?" And I answered as like, it's my loyalty. Like I'm too loyal, like to a fault. And then I was talking to a girlfriend of mine that I've been friends since I was 14. And I was like, yeah, so-and-so asked me, what's your like biggest fault in relationship? She goes, your loyalty. She spits it out right away. Like I cannot go against someone even if they're hurting me, if that person's supposed to be in my life. And that's
almost Stockholm syndrome.
I know, right?
Like, or is that the right word I'm thinking? Yeah. So like where you hear about these kids that get kidnapped and they end up falling in love with their kidnapper.
Yeah.
So that right there is a trauma response.
Yes. So I think there's some stuff from childhood that is a trauma thing. So that's something I've been working on, right? In my own self. Yeah. Not just being loyal to a fault or letting people hurt me and do these things. Like that's not being loyal to myself.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Especially, I feel like you're a pretty strong.
I know.
Headed woman to be able to travel the world, to be able to do the things you do. But then the fact that your parents, I'll say our parents, hold this anchor that you can't just sever.
I can't. Yeah. And I've gone times where I cut them out and didn't talk to them for however amount of time, but always go back. Always go back.
Why the lifeline? You got a very successul job. You have an incredible relationship with your son.
Family. That's what they say. Like they're like, when there's no one else there, you always have family. But I'm like, that's not true because they're not there. Like I had an ex that like just beat the shit out of me, like by bleeding everything. And I was in the basement suite at my dad's house. And after he left, like I was like screaming, whatever. My dad came running down. I'll never forget this. He was wearing a white t-shirt. And I just like hugged my dad and I was crying and I like came back and there's blood all over my dad's shirt. Well, I broke up with that ex. My dad stayed best friends with him and my brother. He was a groomsman at my brother's wedding down the road. Like my brother and my dad kept this guy around, invited him on family trips. Like we went to Vegas for my dad's birthday and they invited this ex on our family trip and I had to sit beside him at the table. Like there's no loyalty there.
So why are you giving them loyalty?
I don't know. I really don't know.
This is where you need to unpack.
I know. I've been working. I'm aware of these things. Like most people aren't aware. Like I can talk about it because I'm aware it's there. And that's just another thing I've been working on, right? But I know.
Yeah, fuck that.
I know. Yeah.
Fascinating.
So they like that. But then that's the talk that my family has. They always say family is everything.
Family isn't
without
shit.
anything, like family is what's always going to be there. But anytime I've needed them, like in Thailand, I was like down and out and nothing, whatever. And there was no there wasn't smartphones or anything back then. So I emailed my mom being like, this happened. I'm like stuck and, I have no money because I woke up with nothing. Like, can you, why you'd have to like wire money back then. She didn't even respond to my email.
Hon, you need to, you know what you need to do. Blood, I hate one of my most hated phrases is blood's thicker than water.
It's not.
I hate
It's not
that.
because I have friends that are way more solid to me than my family ever has been. Yeah.
Yes.
But I just
yes. I've been though. I've hung on and
I need to be better than them, you know. And
by being better than them is allowing you to live your life under.
But I do, and I do
sure,
live my
but I'm
life,
talking
and like they're like
that's an
toxic
anchor,
in their
though.
ways now, but not as bad as before. Or maybe I just like let things slide more. I don't know.
There's no as bad as before if they're allowing what's happened in the past to happen, especially as a parent. You know, would you allow some of the things that to your son?
Not a chance. No.
You're gonna leave your son abandoned in a foreign country after getting stabbed and losing everything?
Not in a million years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, family's weird, man. It's very interesting. And I get it. Trust me. One of my faults is I'm loyal to people, and that's one thing I've had to work on over the last few years is my loyalty and where it goes. And that's where I'm like, man, I give everybody my loyalty, but my own family and myself. And that's where I've really like pushed it away.
I think like the good side of all this is it's made me incredibly resilient,
100%,
incredibly comfortable in chaos,
100%, which is
to be able to live this
thing.
life that I live. That's so adventurous and so like I've been to 28 countries in the last 23 months.
That's incredible.
You know, like, and just like you said, one day I'm hiking up a volcano, and then the next day I'm swimming with penguins, and 3 days later I'm in icebergs, like in Ushuaia. And then another day later, I'm in Brazil at the waterfalls. Like, it's just, but I'm comfortable there. Like with all that going on, that chaos, I'm comfortable in that. It's when I go home and I'm like sitting at home and I don't have a purpose there because my company runs itself. So I don't have anything I'm creating or doing. So I'm just sitting there with nothing to do all day. My son's off in university. Like the house is quiet. I was home 3 days, flew here. I was like, nope, I'm going home for 2 days, flying to Mexico. Like this
is all a traumatic response though.
Yeah.
This is a trauma response is you have to surround yourself, when I say chaos, not in like a negative way, but just being on the road, something new adventure.
Well, when I was building my business, though, I was able to stay home because I had something I was creating, right? Or when my son wasn't in university and he was home, I had him to take care of. And you know what I mean? It's just like when you're not creating something, you're stagnant. And I can't just sit and stare at the wall all day.
I 100%.
I don't watch TV, you know? So I just so I'd go and find things to do.
And you've also built this life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I respect it. I'm not knocking it by any means, but I wonder if a lot of that comes from just you can't sit still.
Yeah. People have asked me that, and I don't think so because it's only been the last 2 years that I've been staying this busy.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
You know, before that, I've been settled down and in relationships and raising my kid, and I've always traveled lots, definitely, but I could go like 3 months in between trips or something.
Okay.
It's just now part of it's empty nest syndrome. My son left for university and suddenly I'm like, oh my God, I have no purpose.
Dreading that.
Who am I if I'm not a mom raising my kid? Like, you know, that's been my entire adult life. I became pregnant at 19. I know nothing else but taking care of him and being his mom.
Which is the greatest thing ever.
And then that was also something that propelled me into this 2 years because it's like now for the first time in my life. Because I traveled. I took him to like 10 countries before he was 5 years old. But I had to always think about him, right? Like I was saying, like someone else. For the first time in my life, the only person I have to be responsible to is me as an adult. Like I've never been able to just be an adult like most people in their 20s doing things and whatever. Like I never had that. Plus I was so fucked up in the head from Mexico. So it's like, it's my time for me and I want to travel, right? So it was also like just taking advantage of that.
You're young, you got the money, you got the freedom, do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
able-bodied, like healthy, I can do it. Why wait? You know, people retire at God knows what age anymore, like to try to do some things. Like I want to do it now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Where's one place you would love to go back to? Where's a place that changed your life?
A place that changed my life. That's a tough one to answer. Indonesia definitely is like one of my favorite places on earth. It's just so beautiful. All the islands, like Bali. Bali's great, but there's so many islands in Indonesia. That was where I went and lived with the first tribe too. which was still to this day the most beautiful tribal experience I've ever had. Just like, oh, take my breath away. It was unbelievable. And all the other islands are so special to, like Komodo Island, Borneo. There's just so much diversity there. The people are so great. Yeah, I really, in a lot of ways, found myself. It's like the eat, pray, love, go to Bali, find yourself. But for me, it wasn't Bali. It was Indonesia.
For sure.
I remember I went to live, this was 2 years ago. I went to live with the Mentawai tribe in Indonesia for my birthday. And that was my first like real big, I'd visited tribes. You go and stay an hour and leave kind of thing. But this was like stay with them for a week. And I'll never forget. So that morning we'd gone out to check the traps, like they've set foot traps and stuff for hunting, and ended up like crossing a wild boar, and that turned into now this like whole hunt. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. It's my birthday. And I'm like hunting boar, and they've got this little dog, and I hound hunt all the time. So like hunting with dogs is right up my alley. Yeah. And I actually ended up intercepting twice and seeing the boar, which the tribesmen never did because they don't have that, like, because I've done it with GPS and everything, and I know the way things are going to move, and I know how to cut off, or they're just following the dogs. So that was super cool, and I can kind of teach them some things. Anyway, so we're out, and we get back to it's one house. They all live in one house, and I couldn't see any women anywhere, and I'm like, where are all the women? And I'm looking. So in this tribe, the men do all the cooking, not the women. The woman can only make this one kind of bread in a back kitchen. And then the main kitchen, like fire, is right in the middle of the house. And that's where the men make all the meals.
Okay.
And I found all the women in the back where they make the bread. And I kind of like looked, and I realized they were baking me a cake. Now, this is a tribe. None of them know how old they are. They don't have calendars. They don't nothing. They just know that in our culture, we do cake for our birthday. They spent their entire day where like tribes are living day by day. They have to go in the morning, collect their food for the day. We collect the water, boil it for the day. Like life is survival. Yeah. They spent their day going, cutting down a tree to shave up the bark, to make a flour, getting coconuts to shred, to add sweetener, a whole like 10, 12-hour day out of their time to make me this like cake for my birthday. And I burst into tears. Like just, it was the most real, genuine, loving thing anyone had ever done for me in my life, especially for a birthday. Like just out of the pureness of their heart. It was just such a, and then like they came out and they're like whistling the tune to happy birthday. And, you know, the shaman brought it out to me. And it was just such a, I mean, even this year and that year, last year, no one called me on my birthday. My phone didn't ring once. Not even my parents, not even a voicemail. So like them doing that was just so, yeah, that was really cool.
That would be
and this is like a tribe. The people I don't know, we don't even speak the same language, nothing, but we like bonded so well. And I get up, I don't just like live with these tribes and observe. Like I get really involved. So I was waking up even before them, and I'm going down. When the first shaman wakes up, I already got like 10 buckets of water brought up on the fire, you know, boiling it for the day. I've climbed up some tree and knocked some fruit. Like I'm involved. And then I remember when I left, there was this one of the women there, was the shaman's sister that I had like kind of bonded with. She asked, because I had a translator, so she'd obviously asked him how to translate. And when I left, she gave me this big hug, and she goes, I, you, mama, you, me, daughter. And I was just like, ugh, they're just the most real people you'll ever come across in your life. You take everything away. And that's one thing I love. This is why I live with tribes. You strip the world away as we know it. Our electronics, your home, your comfort, your food, just everything gone. And all you're left with is humanity, is what humanity is supposed to be, what it means to be a human. And it's the close knit of the people and how they work together, and they all rely on each other, and they all move together. It's the most beautiful thing to experience. Like, yeah, going and darting monkeys and all that shit's cool too. I love adventure, but it's the the people and that connection that I love so much and that I travel and visit these tribes for.
I've had this conversation before, and I've been able to talk to buddies, and I know you're 100% going to know what I'm talking about, but it's like you take this guy that's worth 30, 40, 50 million dollars, most miserable human being you've ever met, has everything in the world, shit all over his family, doesn't care, and then you meet somebody that doesn't have a shirt to give you off their back, and they're the most accepting, just loving, and it's crazy, and it shows you I don't think a lot of people get to see that, and it's here in the States. I mean, I know people that don't have.
Well, I'm living it. My dad's a billionaire.
Your dad's a billionaire?
Yep. Another thing a lot of people don't know. A lot of people see my lifestyle, my success, and think they're like, "Oh, her parents are just funding it." There's no trust fund. Last time I got $1 from my parents, I don't even know, 10. Yeah.
What does he do?
He's a developer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you exactly.
But we didn't it wasn't always like that. I remember if my dad didn't go hunting that winter, we didn't have meat. I remember living our whole family with my grandparents because we had no money. So him and my mom built the business together. Without her, he'd be successful, but nowhere he is today. They've done it all together.
Good for him. You can't take it from him.
They both work in the office. Like she runs the money, she runs the books, and he's just out kind of, on the forefront. So that's only been in the last 30 years, really the last 20 that it really
took off
big. Yeah.
So you get it.
So
I mean,
they're self-made, and that's why I told you my dad wasn't around, because he was working his ass off to build what he has now.
For what?
For
what? That's where I feel a lot of people they miss it, man. I mean, your dad's a billionaire, could have anything he wants, and he doesn't have a relationship with his daughter.
Yeah.
Is it just you and your brother?
No, I have an older sister.
How's that?
Similar, not as bad. They were not as bad with her as they were with me.
You a middle child?
I'm the middle child.
There we go. All right. It's always the middle kids.
It's always the middle kids. They actually sent me a meme yesterday. We have a family chat, and they literally sent to me, I'm like, oh, the second born is always the troublemaker. And then the family was all sharing memes and shit talking me. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. Yeah.
I get it.
So it's similar though. She also has gone to a lot of counseling and keeps them really at bay. And it's funny, when I do spend time with my family, my dad will, how the family all loves to talk shit about everyone. Oh, I don't know what her deal is, why she doesn't want to come and do this with us or that with us. I'm like, well, what do you think? You
have some valid points.
Yeah. Come on. And so she's definitely just keeps the family at arm's length. And then my brother is the golden child. He's never had to make a resume or know what struggle is. He's fucking platinum spoon up his ass. I love him. I love my brother. Sorry, Cody. I don't mean it like that. You're great. You work hard. But
the golden child's the golden child. There's no change in that.
He's the son, right? The prodigy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there one place you would recommend never visiting again?
No. I think everywhere I've been has been I've gotten something out of it. There's been some I went to the Congo. That's where I just got back from in Africa.
Gross. How is that?
Yeah.
Congo's interesting. If people don't know about the Congo,
I was just there 3-4 weeks ago.
I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong. It is a war-stricken.
Yes.
There's people, women with no hands and feet. Yes. I mean, the violence.
Yes.
Us as Americans or North Americans have no idea the level of violent people that live in the Congo. Yes. And you went there.
I just went there.
Okay. How was this?
So I went there to live with tribes.
Okay. How many tribes have you lived with?
I don't know, 16.
Damn, okay.
Yeah. And before I went, people that knew I was going were like, dude, what are you doing? Do you know what's going on there right now? I'm like, yes, I do. You're a white woman that's small and good looking, and you're going alone to the fucking Congo. Are you aware? A 7-year-old
will kill you there.
Yeah. Literally, there I saw child soldiers when I was there.
Yeah, there's children chopping feet off of people and hands off of people. Children.
Yeah. So I actually had a really scary situation when I landed there. I had one friend. So then I started Googling, and it's in the top 5 most dangerous countries in the world, maybe even top 3, but it was in the list. It was 5. And my friend goes, the two most dangerous places on earth right now are Gaza and the Congo. And he's like, you wouldn't go to Gaza, would you? Like, why the fuck are you going to the Congo? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, if there's a tribe there, maybe I would. Like, I'm just not afraid of these things. Maybe that's also like this trauma thing. Like, nothing scares me. I don't know. But I'm just like, it's going to be an adventure. We'll see what happens when I come out the other side. Like, my son, actually, that's one that he like begged me not to go. He's like, Mom, like, I don't have a dad. Like, I can't. Like, what are you doing? You know? But I'm just like, it'll be fine. I'll be fine.
I mean, was it? How was
it? Was, yeah, it was. When I landed in Kinshasa, which is like the big city. This is like the worst, the worst. And I used like a company to help like plan this for me. So they were sending someone, and the person I'd been talking to back and forth was this woman from Spain that was flying out to meet me to, you know, organize this for me. And from what I knew, she was supposed to be picking me up at the airport. And she told me, yeah, I'm going to meet you at the airport. I needed to do a visa extension because everything I plan is last minute, right? Like I just show up and figure out where next. So I can't go somewhere where you need to apply for a visa and it takes a month and blah, blah, blah. So like with the Congo, they just have this 7-day visa you can get right away. And then so that's all I did. And then I had to extend it when I landed. So we're supposed to extend it at the airport. She's supposed to meet me there. Well, I get off the plane, like I get my bag and I'm like walking out. There's no one there. There's no one with a sign, no one with my name, like nothing. I know I've just arrived in one of the most dangerous places in the world. I'm the only white person in the entire airport. And I'm a girl. Like I'm a woman and there's nobody else there. And I'm like standing outside. Everybody's looking at me.
You're just
and the biggest things are like kidnapping, especially for ransoms. And like all the worst things you can think of are rampant there, like constant, nonstop happening. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, there's no one here. What's going on? So I'm like messaging her on WhatsApp and she's like, oh yeah, no, the driver's out there. I'm like, well, there was no one with my name or anything. She's like, oh, I'll call him and tell him to come find you. It's like 5 minutes later, my phone on WhatsApp starts ringing and this guy's like, yeah, I'm out here, like come find me. So I'm like, okay. So I like walk outside, I've got my bag and I'm like on the phone. He goes, oh, I see you. And this guy just waves at me, but he doesn't have a sign or anything. He's not wearing a logo of like on his shirt, nothing. He's just like another Congolese guy in the crowd of Congolese people. So my brain instantly starts thinking, okay, like I know the person I think the person I've been talking to is legit. Anyone can make a website if they're trying to find people to traffic, right? Like, how do you really know this is even a company? And then I'm also thinking like, if these organizations that are kidnapping people or holding for ransom or whatever know this tourist company is bringing people in, they could grip them. They could grip the driver, like, you know, when are you picking this person up, and then use that to get me. So already I'm like high alert now. I walk up to this guy and I'm like, yeah, you know, okay. Like, and he's like, yeah, we got to go up to the car, but the car's not even in the parking lot. He's like walking up to the street where it's just like I can't even explain what it's like there. Like yeah.
This is sub third world country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, I asked the guy, I'm like, do you know my name? And he's like, huh? I don't understand. I said, what company do you work for? And he couldn't answer. I said, who sent you to pick me up? I'm just waiting, hoping I'm going to say that girl's name or the company. He couldn't answer anything. And I'm just like, oh my God. I was like, this is it. Like someone has intercepted that this Canadian's coming into the Congo. It's already a setup. This fucking van pulls up, like it's driving and just pulls over on the side of the road. And they just open the door and tell me to get in. And I'm asking him again, I'm like, what company do you work for? Who are you with? Like, and I'm also standing on the street, everyone's staring at me. So I'm just a target already because like, you can't walk through the streets alone. Like those little children will cut your hands off and like take everything, you know what I mean? Literally. So I'm like, I don't want to be on the street. I also don't want to get in this van, but I have no other option at this point. So I'm just like, okay. And I get in and same thing right away. I FaceTime. I have a friend that lives in Africa that hunts and stuff and whatever. He was in Tanzania at the time, but at least he's on the same like time zone-ish. And I just FaceTime him and he like takes one look at my face and he's like, girl, what's the situation you're in? And I'm like, he's like, you just need someone to be on the phone, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. And I've just got my AirPods in so they can't hear. And so I sent him the hotel I'm going to. I also had it on my phone on maps. So, and I shared my location with him so that we can follow the route and make sure we're going in the direction of the hotel. And I'm like, because I'm trying to ask these people questions and they're just not even, I'm like, where are we going? What hotel are you taking me to? And then now they're just ignoring me. And they're just two men in the front. I'm in the back. No one's answering me. And we're driving through a war zone. It's literally a war zone. Like I'm looking outside, like it just looks like bombs have been going off everywhere. Like just, I'm alone. I don't even know where these guys are taking me. I'm just like, fuck. Like you're going to get killed the first hour you land in the Congo. Why did you do this? Like this is literally what I'm thinking. Like this is what's going through my head. Oh my God. Sure enough, we're heading towards the hotel. All of a sudden, boom, we turn off the route. And we're going through all these like side roads. And Hunter's looking at me like, dude, what the fuck? Like, do you know Hunter Herbert? You would. Yeah.
Maybe we've crossed paths.
Anyways. And he's like, that's not the route. I'm like, I know. And we're both just like, and he's in Tanzania. I'm in the Congo. He can't do anything, but at least someone knows where I am and someone knows the situation I'm in because no one ever knows where I am or whatever. So these are the things I think about to like mitigate the situation so that I do end up in when I can. Mm-hmm. And then I'm trying to ask the driver, I'm like, this isn't the route, this isn't the route, this isn't the route. And then they're like, go shortcut. And I'm like, shortcut. I'm just like, meanwhile,
your phone's like rerouting.
Yeah, rerouting. We ended up making it to the hotel and they did end up being the right drivers. But that whole drive was like, just
shit and
what?
bricks.
Because like, what can I do in this? Like, if they're taking me somewhere and they open the door and 10 guys are all going to have AK, like, I can kick and fight, but like, I'm toast, you know?
Yeah, you ain't even fighting those kids.
No.
Start hacking you with a machete.
Literally. Like, it was bad there.
What did you do in the... So then you left from there and you went to the tribe?
Yeah, I spent a night there and then the next day went out, gone on this like kind of canoe up the river and then went up towards the tribes. And as soon as we got out of the city, the further up the river you got, it was fine. Like I felt safe.
They still have like
oh, I know.
Like guerrilla warfare.
They do in the jungle running through. Yeah. So
like
I've kind of come to that. This is where you're going to be like, see, you're not normal.
I would never.
I've said before, listen, I know that I want to travel all over the world and live with tribes. And like to get there, I have to drive through jungles on these routes through Africa where these guerrilla groups are. I know that there's a chance that I might get rushed by some guerrilla group and held and raped and ransom and whatever. But I'm like, if that happens, it happens. Like it's
not normal.
You know, like I'm not going to go do these things and live and experience this and live with the tribes because that might happen. I'm well aware that there's a high risk and I'm okay with that risk.
I completely process what you're saying. And I mean, I respect that you're like, yeah, but there's certain points like Congo, like
I know
there's got to be like a moral compass, like a little radar.
Everyone was saying that before. Like everyone was just like, dude, what the fuck? Why go? There's tribes even better tribes. Like the Oma Valley in southern Ethiopia has like the coolest tribes, and I haven't gone to see them yet. The Congo is just like, some more tribes, but I think that's why I picked it, right? Obviously.
You just live for the thrill.
Like I wanted to go into the depth of the whatever and come out and be like, yeah, I went there. I did that. I went to the Congo in the middle of like the worst war shit they've had going on there in history and went and lived with these tribes. And it was great. And it was beautiful. And it was super cool. And like,
yeah, I mean, I respect it.
Yeah.
You can't knock it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So lots of things like that. Lots of different. Borneo in Indonesia. Oh God.
Borneo?
Yeah. It's an island in Indonesia. So after I'd lived with the tribes in Indonesia, I had found out that Borneo is an island in Indonesia where orangutans are endemic.
Oh.
The last living orangutans. Those are highly endangered, right? There's two islands, Sumatra and Borneo. And I already passed through Sumatra on my way to the tribes. It was like 4 days just to get to where these tribes were, by the way. So I'm like, I want to go walk in the forest with the wild orangutans. I want to do this while they're still around because they're not going to be, right, at some point. same thing. So I'm like researching, and I found some like companies that organize it, but the dates didn't work and nothing. And I find this like just phone number on some like Reddit page or something. So I like go on WhatsApp and I send it a message like, oh, you organize Borneo or whatever. And they're like, yeah, sure. And then they throw me the price, and it was like a quarter of what all these other companies were charging. And I was like, huh, kind of a red flag. And I was like, maybe I just lucked out. And they're like, how many people are in the group? I'm like, just me. And they're like, just you? Like, female? How old? And I'm like, 38. Like, by myself. Da, 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 da. And I book it right then and there. They just send me their bank details. I do a bank transfer, and I'm like, okay, I'm going in 8 days. No idea who's on the other end of this line. Borneo is, there's like no cities, no nothing. It's just, there's some tribe, there's like the Dayak tribes are on Borneo, that are like headhunter tribes.
Yeah, they're cannibalistic there, right? Or used to be?
Yeah, used to be. Now, but they're known for like the headhunting and stuff. And the town's just this tiny little town. And so here I go. I just send random money to some random bank transfer and just trust, I'm going to go. So it takes like 2 days. So Indonesia's huge. There's so many islands. So it took me 2 days and like 4 flights just to get there. And I'm like on the flights, and I'm like on my way there, and I'm messaging this number, and I'm like, hey, I'm coming. Is someone going to pick me up? And I'm getting no response. So I'm already thinking like, well, this whoever just took my money, and no one's even going to be there when I show up. And I was like, well, if that's the case, I'll figure it out. I'll just start asking, does someone have a boat? Could someone take me to the orangutans? Like, I'll figure it out. And then all the way through like plane lands, and I'm like documenting this in my stories too online. I'm like, I don't know, like no one's answering, not sure who's going to meet me, not sure if anyone's there. And people are like, dude, why do you do this? Like, what is wrong with you?
That's the thrill. That's what you live for.
Why are you going? Well, it's not the thrill. It's like, I want to go see the orangutan, so I'm going to take the risk.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's just a lot of risk to do these things, but I want to go.
Your problem is you don't have the risk versus reward compass in you.
No,
You're just like,
all the risk is worth the reward. Like, I want the reward no matter what. Like, I'm getting what I want no matter what.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. So it ended up being the fucking coolest thing ever. I show up. Yeah, there's a girl there at the sign with my name, walks me like through the town. I get to this boat. It's this huge like ship all to myself. There's 5 staff all just there to help me, to cook for me and guide me, and the captain and the whatever, all, for like a quarter of what it was going to be through any other thing, staying in like hotels and with groups of people and whatever. It's all me, all private, like catered to me. It was the coolest experience ever. There's like all like the crocs everywhere in the river. I'm like hiking with the orangutans. I did a night walk. I don't even know if you know this is a thing. I didn't. I did a night walk with this like biologist or whatever. The forest glows in the dark. So there's these glow in the dark mushrooms, and after it rains, the spores go all over everything. It's fucking Avatar. I sat there in the dark looking around at the whole forest glowing like the movie Avatar. That's what it was based on. The movie was based off of this. No.
Fuck.
No. And I had tears just literally like streaming down my face. It was the most beautiful fucking thing. You can Google it though. You can Google
this. You got to go live in Avatar?
I got to go live in Avatar, in the Borneo jungle, in the like this random like thing.
We're a huge Avatar fan.
I had no idea. So you can actually you can Google it. There's a big forest in India that's famous for it, and then these ones in Indonesia. And I didn't know. I had no idea this was even a thing until I'm sitting in it, looking around, and like it's literally Avatar, and it's glowing. I did keep like a little twig and a little stick and a leaf, and when I got back, I took a picture of it. I'm like, look, the stick is glowing. The stick is glowing. Everyone's like, oh, a glow stick. And I was like, oh, yeah. But it was just the most beautiful thing. Because, like, us being like a hunter in nature, like we'd have such a connection to nature that I was just standing there with tears. Like, not like sobbing. It was just so beautiful. Tears were just rolling down my face. And I was just like, this is fucking absolutely incredible.
And you'll never experience this living some just office
and it's a
job.
Fluke too, though. Like you can't plan to go do this because it's when the right stuff in the air. It's like
temperatures,
like
and
the phosphorescence in the water.
Too,
right. Like we have that on where I live on Vancouver Island, but you can't just go out there and see it. It's just got to be the right place at the right time for it to all come together, and that happened to be the right place. So this these things that I get to experience and these incredible things, like the tribe making me the cake and the literally in the middle of Avatar and like all these things. If I didn't take these risks and just have faith that it's going to work out, I wouldn't have all these amazing, incredible experiences.
I
right?
respect it. There's not many people where I've ever been like, damn, like, good for you. You're one of them.
Thank you.
You are one of them. That to be able to overcome. I'm sure we didn't even scratch the surface.
No, we didn't.
I could tell. This is just what you wanted to share. I'm sure there are. I don't mean to say that in like a joking way, but I could, yeah.
Well, I don't see it that way either as like overcome. Like, I just don't see it. I don't know. And it's not like, oh, I had this like hard life and blah, blah, but look at her now. It's just like tough times build tough people.
Fucking A.
You know, the way I see it.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
And you've got to be a pretty tough person to want to book a hunt or book a trip to Congo and get in a van that has candy written on the side of it.
Literally. Yeah.
Free candy.
That was like, yeah.
Free tribe visits.
I do what I can. Like, I know these people can't fucking help me, but I will when I've gotten very good at picking up on signs and stuff. I'm very aware of my surroundings.
That's a
skill.
And
I do what I can, like call someone, be on FaceTime, share my location. Just, I mean, if they take me, they fucking take me, and there's nothing that person on the phone can do. But at least someone knows that happened, and they can reach out and start. At least as I'm not just out there. And if this happens at that moment, no one knew. And
I'm sure a lot of people are listening like, this chick is batshit crazy. She is out of her mind. But
I love my life. It's fucking unreal. It's so fun.
How many people get to say that though? But every adventure you're learning. I haven't been fortunate enough to travel your experiences, but I have traveled and I've been in some shit. But every time that you experience these things, you're learning. And then you're picking up on body language.
Yeah.
You're picking up on communication, how people are watching, how they're staring, where everyone's looking, the atmosphere, the vibe. These are all things that you learn from traveling. Even here in the States, if people travel enough, you'll...
just high stress situations and all the things you pick up.
How to de-escalate situations. When to read a room, okay, we need to get out of here. Hey, we might want to not stay here tonight. And I'm sure you've learned so many of these little micro skills that just eventually they build and then they add. So like next time you're like, maybe I'm not going to drink a mushroom drink on the beaches in Thailand. And
I mean, you know what? I probably would, but I would make sure
somebody's with you.
In all honesty, I actually did go to Thailand last year and did mushrooms. Funny enough. But my girlfriend was with me.
Oh, God.
A couple of my friends were with me when I was in Indonesia. I went and met a couple of friends in Thailand, and we did mushrooms on the beach. So, yeah.
Good for you. Let me see what we have. I know you got
yes, I have a flight.
It's 4 o'clock. So,
okay. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we can wrap this up here. I am super glad for this conversation. I could talk to you for days.
Dude, I have so many stories.
Come back anytime, please.
Yeah.
Next time.
By the time I come back, there'll be like 8 more countries, and who knows what more stories.
I'm sure you're going to be another request because there's certain guests and people are like, bring them back on, and and I'm sure you're going to be one of them. Just because people. I'm not speaking for like all of Americans, but we live these very safe, sheltered,
in a bar,
privileged, cookie cutter lives. And that's been one of my biggest things as I've grown this family and you know, my years in the military and getting sent all over the world and being able to experience shit. I come back here, I'm like, there's so much, and there's so much here in the United States to be able to experience, and that's what we want to do with our kids. But I'm like, God, there is a world out there that the majority of Americans, Canadians, they have no idea even exists. I'm with you.
I want to see it all. I was trying to plan for November. I wanted to do the 5 stands.
Okay.
But as like travel.
I was going to ask you that if you've been to
I wanted to do like, because I've gone to places hunting, and it's like you just get off the plane and you go straight out to the mountain, and you're not experiencing so I want to go back to these places. I want to do the 5 stands, and then also Afghanistan and Pakistan. So I've been trying to organize that trip as like one next.
I've had this urge, this itch to go back to Afghanistan on the civilians. I mean, I was there as a civilian contractor, but we're in Kabul the whole time. We're freaking
exactly, and there's such cool history.
The mountains
and
are
there, and the mountains
are
and like
unreal, and the valleys, and all these guys are gonna be like, "Dude, yeah, last time I was there, I was getting fucking blown up." But
so the
whole country's changed a lot too. I mean, I'm
time.
seeing these American backpackers now. I'm like, oh my god, like you're gonna end up on Al Jazeera television.
When you do have to go, each city you get into, you have to go into the Taliban office and register in each city and whatever. But like, and there is risk of 3 people from Spain were murdered last year, tourists. But it's a pretty like beautiful place to explore and check.
If they have my name on file there, they'd be like checking. They'd be like, "Oh, bing, a picture. Yeah, motherfucker, like he used to work here." So
I was trying to plan that one for next month, but the temperature drops significantly in November, and I want to like enjoy it. So I think I'll save that one for next spring. But I've got a few things in the pipeline.
I appreciate this conversation. I know you're rolling through town real quick, and I snatched you up real fast. I had no idea where this conversation was going to go.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Well, because you just like shotgun blasted this bio to me, and I literally was like this morning with the wife. I'm like, I read it to her. I'm like, I don't know where to go with this conversation.
There's so much,
because normally I have like a cop or a vet or correction somebody. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's pick apart your career. Pick apart. Oh, you got blown up. You got shot. Whatever. But it was just like chaos. You just went.
Wild chaos.
You are the definition of wild chaos for sure, and I appreciate that because I mean I don't live to your extent of just being able to be that free life yet, but I respect it because I've gone places and I have seen things where we were like, and you end up in back alleys and in someone's home that just open it up and then they're putting a whole entire. I mean, dude,
they have nothing and they're giving you everything.
Everything. And I learned this early on in my military in Iraq. There was this house. This is one of those aha moments for me. Like, oh, these people aren't all just terrorists and everything we've been fed our whole entire lives in Middle East. There was this house and we had our AO, which was area of operation. And at the very end of it, there was this palm groves. We had all these dates. And then there was like these little rice paddy fields. And you had to walk across these little aqueduct paths to get to this house all by themselves. And we would go down there. And I remember my first interaction with this guy, he sits me down and we're sitting on the front. And he yells at his wife, and just starts screaming at her. And she just runs inside. And he's like, sit. And then she comes out a minute later and she's got this plate of chai tea and all this stuff. And then he starts mixing it. And I'm sitting there and I'm sipping. I'm dropping all my gear and all my guys. We're all just chilling. And she comes out like 20 minutes later with this sterling silver platter. Like it was all engraved and just, you could tell it's been handed down. And it had just this whole entire buffet on it. And this dude and I sat there and we talked with my terp. Yeah. And he was just telling me how their life was and the struggles. And I'm just this kid. And I'm experiencing this. And it was like our little kept secret for our team because I didn't want anybody fucking with this guy. He was just a good family. And he would tell me, hey, they're moving across the rivers at night. Like, cause he was right on the Euphrates River was like his front yard. And he would tell us these things. And I'd ask him like, what do you need? He's like, I could use water, fresh, clean water. So we would go and visit him and I'd have all my guys carry cases of water. And this dude would give us the world. Yeah. Everything that he had. She's out there with the bread and she's put in the oven and the milk from their goats I'm just like, bro, this is the most primitive living and he's giving us everything. And so that was like that
pure.
That's how I would pure. No angles. There's nothing in return. And here we are, these foreign enemy in their country, destroying everything, just putting bullets in everything just because it's fun. And here this dude is like, dude, come sit down. Like, here's my family. And his children are sitting with us. Like, they get a soccer ball. A couple of my guys are kicking the soccer ball around the front yard. And we just would sit with this guy and talk. And so that to me was like, okay, just because we paint a picture of a race, a country, an ethnicity, whatever it may be, there are incredible people buried into that.
I feel that very strongly with the tribes. Like people be like, oh, you want to go live with these like primitive people? I'm like, primitive? They are the definition of what it means to be a human as like Homo sapiens as like the animal that we are, like on this earth. Because when shit goes down, which it's gonna, and we all get wiped out, they're gonna be the ones that continue on the human race. Like they're the true meaning
Nothing's changed
of
in
what it
thousands of
means
years.
to be human. We are the parasites that have it all backwards and fucked up.
We're the ones that are raping and pillaging our soils, our resources, and here they are in the jungle, and they got a fruit tree that they pick from this one. They got a food source over here. They got a little fish trap that they go and check.
In one of the tribes in the Congo, I asked, like, what is your traditions like when a boy becomes a man? They're like, oh, we kick him out into the jungle for a month. And he has to survive for a month. And then he comes back, he's a man. I'm like, oh, like how old? Like 16, 17? They're like, no, 10. At the oldest, 10. At 10 years old. They're just like,
and here,
and he can survive. A 10-year-old here. My son's 19. He wouldn't last 2 days in the fucking jungle.
They can't even last. The 10-year-old can't even last without an iPad.
Like, yeah.
Here, this kid's out here setting snares and surviving.
Yeah.
At 10.
Yeah.
Just shows you. I'm very envious of what you've been able to experience, just because I've got a little taste of it and I know how incredible it is, and you just get to live this life.
I think everybody should go at least once and stay with a tribe.
I'm going to pick your brain. We're gonna have a conversation once you get home.
Yeah,
I want to do something along the lines with a family.
There's some safe, really great ones you can go to. Indonesia was just incredible.
How big were orangutans in real life?
They're big.
Yeah,
like
they're massive,
big
right?
males are
hundreds of pounds, right?
big. Yeah, the strength and the big pads in the face, like. That's just wild. And they've got those proboscis monkeys. Is that what the dick face?
Oh, the big nose thing that comes out?
Those are out there, and those are endemic to there. So you see those, and like just the wildlife I've seen is like, super cool.
Thank you for this conversation. I would have you back any time.
Thank you.
I would love to. Now that I know that I didn't know how in depth into the tribes you were, that I think we're going to focus. If I ever get the opportunity to have you back on, I would love to just talk tribes.
I'll be back out here. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Honestly, this was incredible.
Yeah, I'm glad we were able to fit it in. Yeah.
You are
quite the story.
You're a fascinating person. Thank you. And I mean that in the most respectful, humble way that you.
I didn't think so. I was like talking.